Perhaps the moon knows the secret of the new sound.
He's so bright and full on the surfaces. He's so bright and he walking on my face. He's so bright and
Open your mind. Let us begin our quest to find the new sound.
Zuzu, I've got new. Nicey, nicey, Zuzu, I've got nice.
Look at the shine and everything I need.
Zuzu, I've got new. Nicey, nicey, Zuzu.
Okay, let's have fun.
Nicey, nicey, Zuzu, I've got new. Zuzu, nicey, nicey, Zuzu, Zuzu, I've got new.
Look at the shine and
Nicey, nicey, Zuzu, I've got new. Zuzu, nicey, nicey, Zuzu, I've got new.
look at the shine.
He's so bright and bright, full on the surfaces. He's so bright and he walking on my face. He's so bright and bright, full on the surface, full on the. He's so bright and he walking on my face. Nicey, nicey, Zuzu, I've got you. Zuzu, nicey, nicey, Zuzu, Zuzu, I've got you.
Look at the shine and
Nicey, nicey, Zuzu, I've got you. Zuzu, nicey, nicey, Zuzu, I've got you.
Check, check, check.
you must choose.
What's my sound coming in like?
My name is Mr. Susan. You must choose, and now it is time for you to do the choosing. I am Mr. King.
Zuzu, I've got you.
You must choose.
Zuzu, I've got nice.
Look at the shine. I am Mr. King.
Zuzu, I've got you.
You must choose.
Zuzu, I've got nice.
Look at the shine.
Trapped in cabinets, trapped in cabinets.
Can he get out? Will he get out?
Yeah.
Of course he will.
You like a single dime, Vince, single dime. Oh, you like a single dime.
He walking on my face.
Everything I need here. You like a single dime, Vince, single dime. Oh, you like a single dime.
He walking on my face.
I did a rhyme.
Nicey, nicey,
Zuzu.
Zuzu, I've got you. Zuzu, nicey, nicey, Zuzu. You better. I've got nice.
Look at the shine.
Nicey, nicey, Zuzu, I've got.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing that for a minute. What up, Kirst? Let me get the link in there for everybody. Can you guys hear me okay? Sounding okay? Not horrible? Wanted to go over a couple things, but I don't know why it looks like I fucking flare out my mustache or some shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't even kind of like it. You eat grass? Fair enough, man. Why do you eat grass, though? Is there a reason? Or just shits and giggles kind of thing? Women what? Love the mustache flaring out? I don't know about all that. You don't know why you eat grass, gamer? Just like it? What kind of grass are we talking about here? I mean, I guess I've tasted grass, but I guess it depends on what. I don't do it by choice, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's a little something. You know what I mean? That's it's a little special. Let's see. If anyone wants to join me, there's a few people that I'll let up. Odds are I have to know you, or we have to have talked before, or something like that. And then if I haven't talked to you before, once I get through all of my like spiel that I want to go over, then I'll try out new guests. But I'm probably not gonna do that right off the bat, to be fair, just so everybody knows. Making my alarm. Message. Let's see if we can do this. We'll go like this. Live. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Sorry. Trying to do too many things at once. Oh, it won't even let me open that live. What? What up, who cares? Good to see you. Hold on a second. I don't know who's watching on vertical. 440 from India? What? What? Mm-mm-mm. How do I know it's real? Give me the gambit. Mm-mm-mm. Can you have my bank card details? No, that's not going to be happening. For Baba. Oh, that's the real one. All right, now I can see you. What's going on, sir? How we doing?
I don't know, man. Like, ask me, how do you know if it's the real one? I'll show you a 2D representation of the 12th dimension. You're welcome. Now, you're welcome.
Oh man.
So how do you like hanging out with your sea of fat blue-haired women?
They weren't all fat and they didn't all have blue hair. But probably the most, I don't know, the most what would I call it? Provocative night I've had over there since I started going over there. But I don't know. People are wild. It's a wild world we live in. I don't know why people.
Oh no, Waldo was pretty funny in the beginning.
Waldo was?
Yeah, I found Waldo over there. You didn't find Waldo?
The mime clown, right? Like it had mime makeup on and then was dressed like a clown.
I don't know. It was definitely an it. That's what I know. It was an it.
I don't know why I can't do this. Hold on, I gotta see if I can. Maybe if I turn my device on auto rotate and then do one of these. I'm sorry. I can't pin my fucking messages. Can you pin messages as a what's with the
as a
unhinged
moderator?
liberal
I am
women
not allowed
in the
to pin
background
messages. You have to pin messages.
Yeah, I know. It won't let me go into my live. Sucks.
Which live?
Sucks for me. The horizontal one. And Shady, I just got back from an ICE protest in Broadview, Illinois, and I thought it was a fitting background. I don't know. It was a good time, but that's what the unhinged liberal women are doing in the background. It was the last stream I did, but I appreciate you asking, Shady. Aftermath, G-Unit. Makes sense. It's very fitting. Yeah, this is the first time I've had somebody like touch me, and yeah, I'll be going over that at some point. But yeah, that shit threw me off. I didn't expect somebody to try to, I don't know, to either try to grab my stuff or try to bump into me purposely. And I didn't realize I got the whole thing on tape. And then a bunch of people started white knighting for him, and it got a little weird real fast.
You're talking about the guy that wasn't a retard?
No, that's the one that, yeah, but confused everybody with the dialogue of it. Yeah, that guy.
Dude, if you was within 3 feet of the guy, you realize that he blacked out his own teeth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. Well, I just don't understand how missing teeth makes you mentally ill, I guess. They have no respect for personal boundaries. To be fair, all right, once after he touched me twice and then hooked my fucking charger cable, I grabbed him by the back of his fucking shirt and I lifted him up and fucking moved him with one hand. And that's when he got like really upset. Then he got in my face. And then when he got real close to me, I just kind of like puckered up like I was going to kiss him. Like he got real close. And once I started puckering up, somebody came and got him away from me. But yeah, I don't usually do that. To be fair, most of the time I'm a pretty calm fellow. I was still calm during the whole thing. I just yeah, I didn't think anybody would do that. By the end of the night,
You
though,
know how to auto de-escalate pretty good. You just pucker up right in somebody's face, like, dude, what the fuck, man? I'm cursing you out. I don't want to kiss you.
I always told somebody that if you say you're in a fight with somebody, and this is not for people that are trained to get into fights. People that don't fight and know they can't fight, or they're looking at an adversary that would clearly dominate them in some way or another. I've always said, if you're about to get into a fight, just start taking off all your clothes, because nobody's going to punch a naked man. It works every time. Yeah, de-escalate the right way.
Or just start screaming, Jesus loves me. That works too. Trust me. I've seen it happen before.
That would definitely work. You know, there was a bunch of wildcats there. I feel like it could have went any way. Remaining calm in a den of chaos is admirable. Yeah, I mean, I don't, like I said, it could have been worse. But by the end of the night, I went over and told the guy to have a good weekend. When I fist bumped him, I had no reason to be nice to the guy. Or the other guy that was the weird guy that was white knighting for him. And I told him, I was like, dude, you weren't near us. You couldn't see what was happening. I was like, but yeah, if you go ask the guy that I just got into a conflict with, he'll tell you that he grabbed my shit on a fucking, I don't know if he did it on purpose or an accident, but once I told him to stop, we were good.
Once he found out that you had titanium balls.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I just think people need to set their boundaries. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I mean. You put up a wall, and he's like, "Whoa, okay, never mind. I'm gonna stop fucking with you now."
Yeah, this isn't really well, and it's not really worth it. You know, like it's not worth getting in a fight there, especially because he kept asking me. He's asked me the last 3 weeks or whatever, 3 weekends that I have run into him. He's asked me before, like, how I lost my tooth. I was like, dude, I'm a mixed martial arts coach. Like, that's why I haven't fixed it. I feel like it would get knocked out again. I got it fixed once when I was younger, but I just feel like it would get knocked out again. But yeah, I don't know why he always tries to do that. I have a feeling it won't escalate any more than it did now that we got that little session out of the way. Because yeah, it's just weird to me. Just weird in general.
Yeah, I was messing with you earlier whenever before the older guy got the microphone and started talking all calm and shit, bro. There was this other guy that was screaming at the microphone. I'm like, go over there and get him, Jacob. You can take him.
Which one? The old guy with the microphone? I don't want to yell at anyone.
No, not the old skinny guy with the microphone. The dude who was using the microphone before the clown got the microphone. Before Waldo got the microphone.
No, I don't do anything with crypto, Monty. Sorry. None of these whack jobs deserve nothing but mock and ridicule. I don't really have any reason to mock them. Like I said, most of the time I'm just there documenting stuff. And if somebody would take 2 seconds to talk to me, they would realize that I'm not like a crazy right-wing guy. And I'm not like an always Trumper or anything like that. But the guy just wanted me to be whatever he envisioned me to be, I guess. Just wasn't. I don't know. Wasn't really my cup of tea.
Yeah, I caught that. Whenever random people walked up to you and they're like, "What you doing?" I'm recording my live stream on what? YouTube? What's your name? Yeah. Waters 2. It's like, yeah, bro, I can verify everything for you. What you need me to do? I just don't have my right to protest permit. Oops. Yeah, well,
then I wasn't there to protest. And if you guys would, anybody could have asked me if I was there to support ICE or to protest them, and I'm there to support ICE. And just the officers in general, because I don't think it's right to be against officers or sit there behind a fence and wish death upon officers and their families and all the crazy shit that those people do. If there's a balance to what I would call a peaceful protest and whatever the fuck that they were doing.
So I went and found my answer all together at one time. 1803, the Louisiana Purchase occurred, which means that we actually bought the land from the Louisiana Purchase. It wasn't stolen. But Illinois came into the fold in 1818. So I don't know when that piece of the land was acquired, but the Louisiana Purchase obviously is west of Illinois, but somehow it was acknowledged after the fact.
I didn't realize Illinois was part of the Louisiana Purchase, so the French gave it to us.
No. I'm saying it was not. I found out that it was not, and it happened afterwards. Somehow America acquired that land, but like I was stating, I was trying to get around to the point of some of America is not stolen land. Was the point I was trying to get to?
Maybe I'll just pin the message. Who cares if I met you before? Like I said, I wanted to go over a couple clips from when I was there, but once I get through that gambit of stuff, if I haven't met you before, I was gonna let people come on after that. But if I have met you before, you can come off prior to that. No, I've never, Monty. I've never done anything with.
I think they had a different name before YouTube changed the names of everybody. Or whatever they did, whatever they did. I think Who Cares had a different name, and I know them. I think I know them, or they know me.
I feel like I've heard of it before, but it could be a common one. I'm not really sure. I was feeling saucy tonight. I feel like having a drink. I haven't had a drink in a few days. I like having one. I'm in a good mood. It's me, the mind. Oh yeah, you're more than welcome to come up, man. Yeah, come on up and join us. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, it's just somebody. It just has to be somebody I've talked to before. You're more than welcome to come up. Shout out to the mind. Good to see you, sir.
Okay. Just to get him all ready and prepared with a nice little cushion, real quick. How do you spell Bismarck, Mr. Waters?
Bismarck, like Bismarcky, like the rapper.
No. Like the capital of North Dakota, but I don't know if that means the same thing.
Is Jake News 4 something, Chris? I don't know what it is. Jake News. Me and Jake always joke with each other because, like, my name's actually fucking Jake. Son of a bitch got he got MAGA Jake. I guess I'm not MAGA. Neither is he, but gonna get faded to this lurk. Well, I appreciate the lurkins, I guess. Lurkins the Dutch.
So yeah, there's a nice little pillow for you, the mind. How do you spell Bismarck, as in the capital of North Dakota?
I don't know how the capital of North Dakota sounded, nor do I feel like looking it up at the moment, if it makes you feel any better. I don't feel like looking anything up.
No. I'm just obviously putting down the obvious.
No, not Jake from State Farm. Jake, he goes and records all the stuff at Broadview. Last night I was watching his stream. He was over at the lighting ceremony in Chicago for the tree lighting. Jake's a nice guy. And he's starting to like remember who I am. He's seen me in his chat. And then when I walked up today after recording for a minute, I walked up by him and he was like, "What up, Jacob?" And fist bumped me. I was like, "Oh, cool. He actually does remember who I am." It wasn't just me hallucinating this.
Oh, this is a new one. And I heard it. Oh.
I just want to make sure this is the mind real quick. Is that you, man?
Yeah, it's me. Hello.
Oh, hey. Okay. Yeah,
Hello.
no, I was just double checking. Good to have you.
I can turn my mic. No.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm gonna put the cameras back on. I just wanted to make sure it was you. Once I saw your icon, I had a pretty good idea it was you. That was the one that you had on with me.
Yeah, see, I could turn my camera on. That's what I was saying.
I don't know if I've ever seen you before, so I don't know if the camera would actually help. So you don't have to if you don't want to. I appreciate it though.
Okay.
I appreciate that, Chris. Yeah, I have different views than Jake, but we seem to get along well just because we're both there trying to learn from each other and from other people there.
All right. Here you go. This is a new one, and it might hurt you. It might actually hurt your brain, and you might be sad because that's what sometimes these things do. All right. Everybody remember Bill and Ted, right?
In their excellent adventure, yes.
Okay. The booth, okay? The booth. Did it have the word telephone or did it have the word phone?
It's a good question. I wouldn't know. I didn't really focus on that in the movie.
But yeah, that's one of the newest ones that has come across my desk that I found. Like, no,
It was definitely cheaper than the Doctor Who telephone or cop call box, police call box.
Okay, before we start, I heard you saying a thing about the ice thing, right? I actually saw some stuff where literally they were not even ICE agents. They weren't even supposed to be. They just had the dress up, like they weren't even any federal anything. They were just regular citizens. And this is a thing historically that's happened where there's leniency, right? When it comes to certain groups trying to round up other groups. Isn't that a thing that's happened historically? Like
So
the law is bended towards
so
one
you
group,
saw-
and then
You saw people mimicking ICE agents. Is that what you're saying?
that's a thing that's happened where literally people were not even ICE agents, and yeah, you didn't even hear about that. Like obviously you haven't heard about that, right?
No, I mean I've heard of people.
Yeah, media blackout.
I've heard of people impersonating officers and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's a crime. Probably shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, but you know how the laws work. Literally in each state, the governors and the senators and everybody gets to make up their own laws and put in what's it called? Appoint their own
as long as they
people.
follow the rules of Amendment 10.
No, I don't. It's illegal on every level to impersonate an officer, federal officer, border officer, immigration and customs enforcement. You can't. That's a crime. It doesn't matter what.
Okay,
state you're in.
so well, let's talk about that though, because literally, if you're talking about illegal immigrants who don't know what the law is, how are they going to be like, this is not legal if someone is doing that? Like, literally, okay,
Doing
so
what?
that is impersonating law enforcement and then rounding them up.
How do they check? So how do they check if it's a real officer or not?
How do you expect? No, I'm not asking you how they check. I'm asking you, how do you expect them to be able to verify if someone's legitimate or not, if they're getting rounded up and their kids taken away?
I would say if you're okay. So first of all, because I like when people bring the kids in. I think you should get charged with child endangerment if you're an illegal citizen and your kids don't know that, you're putting your children in danger. Like it's not their choice that you broke the law. Just like if I was to go out and get into a car accident and I was drunk driving and I had my child or something in the car, they would separate me from my child. Like I wouldn't get to just bring my child to jail with me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna agree with you on that for argument's sake, like just because I don't really have too much pushback on that. But that was one point I was making, which is there has been known to be people impersonating law enforcement and then acting on behalf of whoever they're working for and doing whatever. That's a thing. That's a fact. Like that happens.
Oh yeah, I think it happens.
Second of all,
probably I agree with you. I think it probably happens in all different levels of people impersonating officers and federal agents. But
I
there's a couple
want to say
people
one
in
last
the
thing.
chat.
Okay,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, you're good.
The last thing was when it comes to like protests and stuff, and this political. This gets really politically driven when it comes to people, different cultures moving into different areas, because that affects culture, and there is a status quo when it comes to America having a certain culture. America wants to represent what would I say, freedom, right? Quote unquote freedom, even though it's like everything is based off of money and you can't do anything without it, right? And like freedom of speech, when do we get to it? Okay, I'm losing my train of thought here. There's status quo when it comes to protests. This is a thing that we know happens also historically. There's a controlled opposition who comes in and then tries to make a whole group look bad when they're literally not doing anything wrong or trying to be aggressive, but literally the authorities will come in and do an insurgency and then act like the peaceful protesters are violent when it's literally the law enforcement themselves enacting crimes in order to assert their authority. Is that not a thing that happens? Is that not a thing that historically has happened?
I think there's provocateurs on both sides. Yes.
On both sides. So what side are you talking about? Because there's
people that are, I would say there's provocateurs. I would say there's provocateurs on both sides, in the idea that people that support getting illegals out of the country, as well as people that think that everybody's allowed in the country. I think there's provocateurs on both sides. I saw it the other day in Dearborn at I think it was a Muslim protest, and it seemed like somebody that was a straight up white supremacist was there. And I didn't align with some of the things he was saying. Like, it's very easy to get people's ideas convoluted when they try to make it binary. It's not binary. It's not just two parties. The majority of people actually fall kind of centrist. And I believe everybody's got the rights to protest. There should be no stipulations on protesting.
I'm going to dive in and say, if you don't know how to walk through the front door of the country that you want to go into, don't go there and expect to do the same thing as an actual citizen or someone who walked through the front door and is legally there.
Okay, well, talking about walking in front. Wait, talking about walking in front doors. What? I like how we just ignore the whole indigenous perspective on this, right? When it comes to
hold on, bro. I'm a third indigenous myself, and technically,
so you have the right to oppress your own people.
200 years ago,
so you got the right to oppress your own people.
Different than right now. 200 years ago is different than right now, and we can both agree that 25 years ago is different than right now. Am I wrong?
Do you think your ancestors would do you think you align with your ancestors' beliefs right now?
Do you understand what I just said about it is a different reality going on? The world is different. The way people view things are different.
Can I jump in here now?
So you don't align. Yeah, you don't align with your ancestors.
Thank you, Mr. Wall.
So I think.
Why would you say you're part native and then say you reject everything they believe in? I don't understand what that matters. Like, you could have all the blood quantity you want, but if you don't have the belief system, it doesn't matter. You're a little coconut.
You're trying to conflate that like all Native Americans agreed with each other. They raped, scalped, and pillaged each other.
Never once said that. I never once said that. Never once said that.
You can rewind it a little bit and just hear what you just said. You were trying to say, why are you saying that these beliefs are different than the Native Americans' beliefs? They aren't. They used to do the same thing and conquer each other's land. And you asked, why is it okay for the United States to do it? Everybody was doing it. And now we've established a thing where we need people, we need to have border laws. Every country has it. You can't walk into say we're outside of countries. You can't walk into the Vatican without permission. You know what'll happen? You know what happens if you do this in Germany? You know what happens if you do this anywhere? We're the most diverse country in the world. And it's hard to maintain.
Yeah, I never once said that there was a utopia and we should live in peace and harmony, because that's going to be very hard to achieve. I think that's basically impossible. So I don't know why.
All right. Let me frame it this way.
Hold on a second.
If you walk, okay.
Hold on a second, Curse. Mind, I agree with you on that. I think utopia is impossible to reach. But we were actually brought in by the Spaniards, and the Spaniards actually this is how the Alamo became a thing. So what
who is we?
They brought us in.
Don't rope me in with you. Who is we?
Okay, the country that I thought we were talking about the United States.
I'm just joking. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's fine. We just need clarification about what we're talking about. When the Spanish brought us in, they were getting slaughtered by the Native Americans, and the reason that they brought us in was because they kind of wanted us to die too. What happened was we ended up being able to defend that area. And then what happened was the Spanish came back and they were like, hey, can we have our land back? And we were like, no, we just fought for it. You can fight us for it.
Wait,
and then
so
you can decide if you want to have it.
It wasn't because of all the germs. I thought it was because of all the germ warfare, not because y'all were like stronger, y'all fought better or something.
So
y'all literally raped and pillaged and manipulated a whole nation, like a whole group of people. Like that's what happened. You didn't just win a war.
I'm talking about with the Spanish right now. Yeah, we did win a war with the Spanish. That was well documented.
No, it's talking about y'all's victory over the natives, because you said the Spanish left because of they couldn't.
So you just made a couple convoluting ideas, like you were talking about germ warfare and stuff like that. Do you think that the Brits, when they came over, and came to the United States, what we now call the United States, do you think that they understood chemical warfare, or do you think that they?
I think they were filthy.
This is perfect. This is perfect for people that believe in aliens, because if say an alien came down today, and they had bear skin and you had bear skin, and you guys shook each other's hands, what are the odds that one of you guys would get sick?
I think because of the fact that they're using the vaccination methods they're using back in the day, and giving themselves the Black Plague and polio and everything, that increased, their supposedly immunity, but they actually also carried the disease within them. Now they became a host, right, to the thing.
Yeah,
the thing.
I think
so.
Now, I think that would happen with any introduction to a people that hasn't been exposed to the same thing as you are. And so what happened was we gave blankets, or I think it was the British that actually did. I don't know if it was the United States at the time. It might have been the United States, but they gave blankets to the Native Americans, and people called it chemical warfare. It wasn't actually chemical warfare. It was lack of knowledge of how transmitted diseases are actually spread. That's exactly what it was. But it did
but regardless,
have a real result. Yeah, no, it definitely had a real result.
Yeah, regardless,
that was it was taking disease from the Eastern Hemisphere and bringing it to the Western Hemisphere to immune systems that never had that disease within their body before, which is why it was so effective.
Yeah.
But because of a certain lifestyle, right? I thought it was
but it wasn't effective in the sense of being purposeful. I don't think they did it on purpose.
Regardless, it happened. They're filthy. Their lifestyles are filthy, and this whole thing is still being perpetuated, like a whole detachment from nature and our understanding of what the hell is actually healthy for us. Like the culture that I would say is any imperialistic culture that thrives on like taking from others. That's not good. Like, I don't know what you think, how you're going to try to defend that.
I'm not going to try to defend that at all. I think the United States is one of the first people to stop that. I think the British were the first people to kind of try to put an end to slavery. So was the United States. There's still more slavery around the world now than there ever was. Like if we do this root argument with everything, do you know who sent African who gathered up African slaves to send them over to the United States?
Yeah, another African, right? So so what?
Slavery started.
So let's talk. Wait. Let's talk about the thing you just said. You said there's more slaves now in the world than there was before. I find that. Yeah, I agree with that. And I find that interesting. I assume that you're excluding America from that slavery process, right?
Oh,
that
hell
slavery.
no.
I do. No, I definitely think there's still, and it usually has to do with sexual stuff. It's not the same type of slavery we were thinking.
I'm talking about the workforce. I'm talking about the actual workforce.
Hold on a second. We have to be a little bit careful dabbling down this road on TOS, like with YouTube. But yeah, I think sex crimes are the slaves that we are now having to combat today. Trafficking over the border is a huge crime. Coyotes, because I actually had a debate with somebody about this recently. They were talking about, they asked me if I knew that people were dying crossing the border and through the process of it. And I was just thinking, well, yeah, I think it would be much safer if people did it a legal way. They weren't using coyotes. They weren't, women weren't getting taken advantage of. Children weren't going missing I think it was over 13,000 children went unaccounted for from the southern border in the last administration. That's horrible. That's trafficking. That's all kinds of things that are very, very bad. And that's no longer happening in this administration because of us cracking down on our at least kids aren't
Look,
going
a lot of
unaccounted for on the
videos.
southern border. Now it seems to have increased on the northern border as well. So I think we need to stay vigilant when it comes to making sure that people come into the country legally, especially people that are going through the process. I don't think any human's worth more than another human. If somebody from Europe or the Middle East or anywhere else wants to come over the legal way and they're going through the process, I don't think it's fair for other people outside of looking for sanctuary, like in a situation where they're threatened. I don't think they should be able to jump in line over people that are doing it in a legal process.
Okay, just for the record, I want to say yes. I think if you want to come to America, you should, take the legal course, the legal.
So therefore, ICE
route.
is doing their job.
But I would like to say, I think if you really want to talk about the law and justice and what's right, a lot of the treaties and a lot of the laws and promises that were broken and still not acknowledged to this day when it comes to indigenous sovereignty and just a lot of stuff. Like I find it really sad that when we talk about indigenous issues, when it comes to like the reservation and the what is it called, the environment that they're in, it's
Why you
always
mad?
put
Do you live
back.
on a reservation? Do you have the right to live on a reservation?
It's always put back on the native people for why they're in the position that they're in. And in reality, I have been a part of a tribe, and there is a lot of controlled opposition even within the tribe. There's people who have ties to government agents, and they decide who does what. When it comes to planting seeds, when it comes to dancing, everything is still controlled. Like, we can't have our own freedom in America. That's not true.
So yeah,
It
I think
never
I think
was.
I think freedom is an illusion, and I think
Yes, it is. So what are the soldiers dying and fighting for then?
What do you mean?
The Skinner box is your
I
answer
think
there.
I
That's the
think
short
I
answer.
think there's a
You said
reason.
that freedom is an illusion.
Yeah, so I think we have the most freedom of any other country, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find another country or give me one that's comparable to the United States when it comes to freedoms, whether it's freedom of speech. Like just what we're talking about right now, you could get jailed in other countries for talking about this stuff.
I mean, it could still happen here in America. Like, if somebody really doesn't like what I'm saying, any rich person, any rich asshole
It's based
can
on
find out who I am. What's happening. Literally, people get swatted for less. Like, literally, a lot
swatted is
of
different.
stuff
Swatted
happens.
is different. That's like
Okay,
swatted, but you're using like false equivalencies.
yeah, and
Swatted
people
is just
die.
like
Literally, people die in swatting.
oh, I agree. I agree. It's very dangerous, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's like calling somebody to court. Yes, police have to respond.
All I'm saying is, my life can end right now for what I'm saying. If somebody doesn't like it, really, they could end my life if they
Oh, I agree.
really want to. In America, in America,
Oh yeah.
my
No, I
my
agree.
freedom of speech is just as I'm just as in
This is why
danger
we
as I
don't
am
talk
anywhere
about the
else.
Clintons.
I would.
The current administration is actually cracking down more, especially the FBI is cracking down more on false SWATs and stuff like that. The current administration is. I would look into that. It's actually a really good thing because they're actually cracking down more on cyber crimes. Because trust me, you're talking to somebody who has their name on their channel. Like this is my name. Like, and people know where I'm from. People know a lot about me. I just try to keep my nose out of trouble and not get up into anything I shouldn't be doing. But yeah, there's still probably people that disagree with what I'm saying and would probably like to harm me over it.
Yeah, I do appreciate. I mean, I was gonna say I do appreciate you talking to me, but I've said this before. I feel like even having these conversations, like, is a part of what the system does. Like, they try to gather as much
Existence is
intel
futile, bro.
as much as possible.
Oh yeah, they want
I
us
do
divided.
appreciate
It's not just the system. It's our media. It's our government. They want us to follow a two-party system. They want you to either buy Pepsi or Coke. And meanwhile, the Koch
They
brothers
want us
are
divided, bro, so
drowning in
that
all
they
the
can
money.
conquer us so much easier.
You brought up the Native Americans earlier, and there's something that's happening in the United States that not a lot of people notice, and I don't think it's beneficial to the Native Americans. Do you have a rough idea of how much what's the word? What are the communities that they have? Indigenous people,
Tribes
that the land that they're on. I don't think it's called tribes. I can't think of what it's called.
or reservation?
So there's a lot of reservations in the United States, and if you looked at what they got from the U.S. government for support, you'll start to see that we are enabling the Native American people to not have to go out and work, not have to do as much as they used to, and they're actually falling apart more as a society. You'll find more people addicted to alcohol living on the U.S. government, and it sucks because as soon as you become reliant on the U.S. government, then you have to worry about if they can just take that rug out from underneath you. And then you can't prosper without them, which is horrible. So we almost get this enabling system. And you see it with SNAP benefits for American citizens. We see it happen with Native American tribes all the time. And it leads to a lot of lazy people that are alcoholics. And especially in the United States, when it just comes to like younger crowds, there's a lot of younger people that don't even want to work anymore because they'd rather just collect money or collect food and
Okay,
not have.
can I respond to that? Okay, okay, so I was talking to somebody else about a similar thing, but on a different topic. So I feel like this falls into the same subject matter because this has to do with what did I call it? I didn't say controlled norms, but it's a thing where people regulate what is normal. They do this thing where they subtly influence society. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so an example: FBI agents back in the day cracked to black neighborhoods, right? That was the thing.
I don't know if that's necessarily a thing. I think crack is more of a low income drug. It's like meth is a low income drug. There's a lot of low income drugs, and then cocaine is a higher, more expensive drug. And then people try to conflate race inside of that. I think it has to do with the price of said drug. Because
okay, I thought there was a strategic. I thought there was a whole movie made where it was like a strategic thing where a certain ABC alphabet agency ended up like flooding the streets with drugs so that they could again like get certain policies pushed.
I think it did happen, but I don't think it was based on race. I think it was actually more based on income. And because I think if you ask me, because I grew up around different neighborhoods, and I think a trailer park and a ghetto are the exact same thing. The only difference is the color of the people's skin that are there. But if you look at the crimes that people are committing, it's usually out of necessity, not necessarily out of because of the color of their skin. Black people aren't committing crimes at an exorbitant rate compared to white people for the simple fact of the amount of money they're making. But more crime often happens in lower income communities. This is like across the board. So cheaper drugs usually find their way into cheaper communities. More expensive drugs find themselves into a more expensive community. And police crack down on inexpensive communities because that's where more crime is.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking about the two questions that I asked originally, and it was just to recap. It was one of them was, do you think that there? Oh no, do you acknowledge that there are people who what is that word called? Impersonate or have been impersonating ICE agents, and I literally was having to tell people like, hey, look, make sure that they are who they are because I am a security guard and I know what the hell a security guard looks like, and those guys are not federal anything, and they ended up busting a couple of guys and finding out that they were lying. But that was one question I asked you. do you acknowledge that that's happening? And then I said, do you acknowledge that there are provocateurs who literally aren't trying to, like, the people coming to America aren't trying to go to the ICE agents and be like, fuck, oh, we can't cuss in here, but F you, like,
no, you can cut. You can
saying,
cuss. We just have to be careful about some of the rules when it comes to like sex trafficking and stuff like that. No, but you can cuss. Feel free.
okay, well,
Shit, rock, balls.
okay, well, basically, like saying, I don't think they would want, if they're trying to come to America, I think, and this is the thing too, like, first of all, I agree with you. Like, I think there's some people, regardless of their skin color, if they want to come here, like, they do need to have a certain mentality, and they need to contribute to a certain cultural norm that's here. I agree with that. Like, that is something I agree with.
I'll re-answer both. Let me re-answer both of those questions. Yes, I think it's possible that people fake security, ICE, police officers. Like, I think that's 100% possible. But I would offer up a variable. Do you know what the price is on an ICE agent's head right now?
No, I wouldn't know that. No.
No, there's actual public numbers out for what they're offering to kill ICE agents, and it's a little fucked up. I think I would cover my face a little bit more if I felt like my group was being marginalized by over 200%.
Wait, but this is the thing I don't get. Wait. Where's the censorship though? Like, how is that even being allowed to be public at all? Because there's so much stuff that gets censored. You're telling me they couldn't censor that? Like, I don't know how that's out in the public for people to even view. How is that even available?
I would say it comes from places like X. Yeah,
propaganda.
More of a no. I don't think it's propaganda. Propaganda is not the right word. There's cartels that are putting up these bounties, which they're not operating out of the United States.
So then why can't America, right, use their GPS or whatever, see where the hell their account's at, be like, hey, did you just say this? Because you're in big trouble. Like, that doesn't, I don't think doesn't sound too hard, right, to do.
I agree that it's against United States law to call for violence against somebody, which is what they're doing. But if they're not in the United States, they can't be prosecuted for it. We can't prosecute United States laws on people in other countries. We can't go around policing the world because of the rules that we have here.
Wait, I thought America was the police in the world. I thought that doesn't America have a base in like every continent?
They're usually our allies.
So what is that called?
Oh, that's more like the UN are the police of the world.
Yeah, I would say the British actually do it a little bit more than most.
Okay, so then fine. Let's say we don't what's it called? Do any like physical action towards whatever, like anybody outside of America, because we can't, arrest them or whatever. Just why is it so hard to just block off the IP address? Like, if it's coming from that place, block it. Block the IP.
I don't know. I would have to know more about how algorithms work and how Twitter works. I think Twitter is very much a free for all.
Okay, so then that's Elon Musk's fault. He is obviously promoting that, and he should be liable for that. He's in America, right? Why isn't he responsible for letting terrorists have a platform and put y'all's lives in danger?
Reason why YouTube's not responsible for what we say here.
Hold on a second. That's a great question. So in the previous administration, when it comes to Twitter, so before it turned into X, before Elon Musk actually purchased it, they were taking United States presidents off of the platform while leaving Al Qaeda and ISIS up there to post whatever they wanted. So it doesn't matter who's running it. It's about, do you want unfettered censorship on both sides, or do you want it to just be from one side? Because the last administration that ran Twitter, it was a one-sided argument. They took Donald Trump off of it because they didn't like what he was saying. But while terrorist organizations actually were unfettered and didn't have a problem calling for the death of other people. It's not like a new thing with Elon Musk.
You know what I heard? Because this is a censorship thing still. Like, literally, I'm going back to that. The mainstream doesn't want something
So what
out in
speech do you
public.
think should be censored, though? What, because you're calling for Elon Musk to censor somebody else's speech. What speech do you think should be censored of people that are in
The
other countries?
bounties, the bounties of federal agents. That should be censored. Like if there's bounties on federal agents' head on Twitter, and that's like not being dealt with somehow, that's a problem. Like,
So
or unless that's strategically orchestrated, it's one of the two. It's
I
either a
agree.
problem or it's planned.
So I agree. I don't think call to deaths should be a regular thing on any platform, but I think we could all three acknowledge what do you guys think the percentage of bots on the internet are compared to real people that you encounter?
Oh, how much of the internet is actually the dead internet? In YouTube, not really, but maybe between 1 to 5%. I wouldn't put it beyond 10% right now. But if you go to your email, oh yeah, the number is drastically going to change from 1 to 5% to more like 80%. It's nonsense.
Yeah, I would
Mine
say
was
about
over-
80%.
I was gonna say it's over 40% when it comes to Twitter and Twitch, according to most people that actually study this stuff.
There's been AI
People that you directly
slots.
interact with on YouTube and Facebook and other social networks that you directly interact with, you know for a fact they're not exactly what you're considering a robot at this point in time.
I don't know. I thought I was talking to somebody, and I was like, "Is she a agent? Is she a AI, like a really good AI robot? Like that's a thing you need to start considering nowadays." But I don't think.
But
she
if
was
we
that.
reframe the question, a lot of people don't know that they're actually robots because they're pre-programmed to do exactly what they're doing anyway.
Okay, you know what? Speaking of robots, I want to talk about the Mandela effect because
I'm fine.
whenever
I'm fine
we
with talking about all these things, but we have to separate the things we can prove in reality to the things that we can't prove. Like I would love to have a theoretical discussion about NPCs, but I think there's a big difference between NPCs and sheeple. And I don't think people address them enough when they're talking about NPCs. I think there's plenty of people that blindly follow an ideology or a belief, regardless of if they're an NPC.
And those are sheeple. Those ones that blindly follow belief off of the cliff of faith. Those are sheeple. NPCs are individuals that do a predetermined thing and can't get off of that preset path.
I don't
see anybody spawning here. I do see people that are simple-minded and don't ever want to elaborate into their ideas or something like that, or don't know why they believe the things they believe. But I've never seen somebody just spawn in front of me or have a new spawn spot that was never born. Like I get the idea behind it. It's fun to conflate games in real life, but I would need proof of it before I could be like, yeah, that one's an NPC.
Okay, here we go.
Give me one example ever throughout history where we can go, that person's an NPC.
Okay, I want to talk about the whole spawning thing because you said you never seen anybody spawn and you need proof. I wonder, like, I strongly believe that you are a science, like strong science believer, right? As opposed to like a spiritual guy who believes like things can spawn into existence out of nothing.
No, I'm very spiritual.
Yeah, and I'm more of collapse the wave function. So yeah.
But if we're conflating ideas like laws and what people should do and this and that, I don't think we should throw robots and NPCs and stuff like that into the argument when we're talking about things that are tangible that we can see and touch. It makes it hard to have an intelligent conversation about the situation. If we're talking about esoteric ideas, I'm all about talking about NPCs. But when we're conflating it with calling U.S. citizens NPCs, I would call them sheeple before I would call them NPCs. There's plenty of people that follow their sides blindly, but it's not the same thing as being an NPC.
Yeah, that's why I kind of defined the
Yeah.
difference in my understanding of what it is I perceive NPCs as versus what I perceive sheeple as.
Ace says, when I die, I respawn at my last Casey's. That's a Midwest gas station, if anybody didn't know.
What an NPC has to do with your soul, and I think you have a destiny. I think there's something that we're born to do, and if we don't do that thing, it can cause us to end up just being a background character, and yeah, that basically ends up. This is just my perception, like idea of what an NPC is, or at least how people end up being NPCs. Because yeah, they do become very robotic and programmed and easily what's it called, predict. It's easy to predict what the hell they're going to say because like they have this whole ideology, so everything basically aligns with whatever the hell they align their beliefs to.
Yeah, it goes along the lines of not every rectangle is a square, but every square is a rectangle.
So do you think humans have free will, or do you think they have a set purpose for what they're supposed to do?
Well, yeah, we have a free will, obviously, but I think it's a thing where literally a lot of, in reality, I would say like 99% of our lives is predetermined, or it's because like there's this other thing that affected this other thing, and that's why we're reacting like this, because I think there's a giant cause and effect of a domino thing that happens, but ultimately there is like a 1% of free will that we do have. Those small moments in life where we're supposed to make a decision that you don't think matters. Those are, I feel, those 1% choices that you need to make that kind of determine your whole life.
So I look at free will.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on one second, because somebody in the chat was helping out the mind. Hello, Susan. And he was, like Susan was saying, he's trying to say he believes in fate. Do you believe in fate? And maybe that's what you were talking about with the purpose that you were applying to the person, and whether they chose to do it or not made the decision if they were an NPC or not.
Okay, I'm just going to say this, and then I'm going to let other people talk. Destiny and fate are both things that exist. Destiny, literally, we were destined to be born. We're destined to die. Me and you, both of us, all of us. I think
we're
our
all
fate.
die. I think that's inevitable.
Yeah, that's our destiny. We are that is part of our destiny. There's no escaping that. And it was part of our destiny to exist, to live. There's no getting rid of that either. And fate comes in with our decisions, the decisions we choose to make. That's why I was saying that 1%. Yeah, that's where we can seal our fate. We can seal our fate if we do not do what we're supposed to. And when you seal your fate, then I think that's it. That stops you from getting other things, because I think we are destined for greatness, but that greatness, I think, might take more than one lifetime. If again, like, you don't do these certain things in this life, you will miss it.
Let me dig just a little bit deeper on that one. What do you think? What do you think guides people to know if they're following where they're supposed to be going or not? What's a determined path that someone could follow where they know they were doing the right thing and avoiding the wrong things?
Well, obviously, I would say their consciousness and their prior experiences would be the thing that does that.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Waters. This is the way I look at free will, and I'm going to really, 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 really dumb it down, all right? This is the way I look at free will, and this is as layman's and as unscientific as I can explain it. It's like a fart in your colon. Sooner or later, you're going to fart, but you decide whenever you fart.
That's funny. That's a good one. I was laughing, but I was muted.
So Ace has a great question in the chat, and I want to bring this up. So if there is no escaping destiny to be born, how do you explain abortion? Does that mean somebody else can decide your fate or your destiny? Or do you actually have control over that, like you were saying, like free will? Because I would say abortion is probably a really good example of somebody else imposing on your free will.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, yeah, you're so you have, I would have very little free will in your own life. So I'm
Mine, can you say that one more time? You were cutting out.
killing babies.
Hey, mine.
You
You
were
got to
cutting out
sit
a
around.
little.
Yeah, you went robot-y. Try that again.
Yeah, we just couldn't hear you. I wanted to hear what you were saying.
I said, wait, what was the question? If
It
there's a
was going
baby
off
that
of, it was going off of what you were talking about with destiny and the ability to be born, and doesn't that impose on your free will, just abortion in general, and your ability to live, like you were saying, where to be born, if somebody else is I guess able to determine whether you have life or not.
Yeah, that I guess that does definitely oppose upon your free will if they're murdering you in the belly in utero. So I would say, yep, that's that's them messing with your free will, definitely. But we do have free will, even though people mess with it. Just because
But
someone like
you get the point
robs you
that
of a
no
thing
matter
doesn't
what,
mean you
you're
didn't
going
have
to
it.
fart, right, Mr. Waters?
Say that again.
Yeah, I like
You
this
get the
guy's.
point behind my statement of no matter what, you're going to fart, but you get to choose whenever you push it out.
Not necessarily. It's just like if you held in having to go pee, eventually it'll just fucking come out, and eventually
That's my analogy of free
you'll
will,
lose your
and as
ability.
to make it as stupid and dumbed down and layman's as much as I can. That's the best way I can put it. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. So you might as well decide when it happens. It's like I was doing the analogy. The water's running, you have to jump in it. So whenever you jump in it is whenever you jump in it.
And then Ace said, my point was about how destiny can't be changed. So clearly it can be changed. Your destiny can be changed if other people can decide it for you.
Wait, this is the thing though. Like, if you were never born, then your destiny was, then you were never like destined to be born. If you were never born,
But that's totally up to somebody else's decision. That doesn't mean that they didn't interfere on your destiny. Like you were disagreeing with me that they could interfere on your destiny.
no, you're right. I think that can definitely happen if you, and that's definitely like a sin, right? That's like I think that's a bad thing, like to. That's not good.
The last thing I heard was you cut out at the end there, Mind. I couldn't hear exactly what you were saying.
I say I believe that's a sin to impose your will on the.
Yeah, I mean, and sin is sometimes I feel like it's too much of a religious term. I think when it comes to, like you were saying, your consciousness and what's right and wrong, I don't think it's and this is my same thing with people coming across the border. I don't think anybody's life is more valuable than another's, and I think we're responsible for the decisions we make. And I don't think that we're able to just cast off other people's decisions because it makes us feel better. If you feel that something is a sin,
To each other.
Susan.
So when are we actually going to be allowed to have a conversation where religion is mass Stockholm syndrome, or does that break TOS?
Mass Stockholm syndrome. So I think the
Oh, I
conflating
agree.
thing when it comes to religion is
Definitely.
think the biggest complaining thing when it comes to religion is man, because I think humans are corrupt by nature, and that's when religion becomes a problem, is when people use it to for power, or basically just rephrase what they would call the word of God to fit their narrative. Like I don't blame Christians for the Christian.
And I agree with that point. Like moving the goalposts as the state whenever it comes to this versus that. Bad things happen. Oh, guess what? You screwed up. Good things happen. Oh, it was all part of God's plan anyway. So it just basically moving the goalposts, and that's what I mean. You're forced to love this thing that created this for you, and you're double in prison inside of a body and a reality, but you're forced to love the thing that threw you here. Isn't that Stockholm Syndrome?
Or insanity.
But you get my point here. Or am I just crazy? Am I the only one that sees this?
Ace, I think.
No, I agree. I agree 100%.
So, but I also do think it's a version of insanity, for the simple reason that we repeat these same actions all throughout history and expect a different result. Yes, when you go away and do something that is a sin to everybody else's acknowledgement, or just against somebody's free will, or against somebody's humanity, like regardless of how it's described in the Bible, your conscience, like the mind was saying, tells you what's right and wrong. Because I don't think of things as bad and good. I think of them as a balance to society. You wouldn't notice the good things without the bad things. And
but isn't your conscious? Isn't this thing that you're pointing at as the conscious at this point in time, your sense of morality? Isn't that determined by the things that you have anecdotally seen throughout your life?
Yes, it's all based on experience. I agree. Yeah.
It's like
That's
my
why the second thing I said was that's why the second thing I said was your prior experience. I said your consciousness and your prior experience.
Oh yeah, no, I agreed with you on that. This is actually why I think a lot of people conflate racism with a lot of other things. I don't think people necessarily base as many things on race as they would think it is. I think most of it's based on personal experience. So I usually use the dog example. There's a friend of mine who's a girl who was attacked by a Rottweiler when she was younger, and so she had a fear of dogs and Rottweilers in general as she grew up. Is she a speciesist because she had an experience where it wasn't good for her, or is she just responding to the experiences that she felt? Does that make her
that's her brain sending the through the neuronic pathways. That's a signal that's in her mind, because this was actually a test that was done on an infant of whenever he saw something white and fluffy, the doctor would make a loud sound behind the infant. And it didn't even take 2 weeks before any time the infant saw something white and fluffy, it would start to cry. And this is an actual test that went on to somebody.
And when it comes to okay, so Ace, I'm gonna actually have this discussion. So you guys might know a few of the people that I'm gonna have involved in this discussion. It's gonna be Jib. Curse, you're invited because I had brought the discussion up to you a little bit. It's gonna be Jib, maybe Boss Man, and then Mr. Newman, because I wanted all of their religious perspectives on this. And it has to do with the relationship between what we call Satan and what we call God. And I'm under the impression that Satan works for God, and Satan isn't not allowed in heaven anymore. He goes there, and but when given permission from God to go there, and it's described in Job, to the best of my knowledge, and until the end battle that's supposed to happen according to religion, that's when Satan will be cast down and have to fight the army of Jesus, depending on which biblical text you're reading. But up until that point, Satan has to go to God and ask for permission to do these things, and God grants him permission to do these things to humans. So if Satan is working for God to tempt and or corrupt humans, are they working together? Does Satan work for God? Are they allies? Or and also, would it be immoral for Satan to say, no, God, I don't want to do these things to humans? Would that make him a good or a bad character in the story? Or is he an ally?
Okay, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you like in? Do you know who the Antichrist is? Like, are you in cahoots with?
You're conflating the
Okay,
Antichrist
go ahead.
and what I called Satan. I think you're conflating what I called Satan and the Antichrist.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But I do think they're separate entities, and I think hell is a construct from the Roman. I guess you could put it the Greek Roman times, but mostly Roman. But the best representations of hell, or like this pit of fire that we have, is usually referenced in Dante's Inferno, and that's kind of what we base our modern interpretation of it off of. The Catholic Church went as far as telling you that if you pay money to the church, they could possibly stop you from going to hell, depending on how much money you donated to them. It turned into a racket more than anything. I kind of agree with that, Stone. I do think
Okay.
spirit, not necessarily God, but I think spirituality is very much an internal journey. It's not based on your attendance in church, and but yeah, I do believe it's definitely an internal thing.
I like to give you an
Okay, so
gift statement there, Mr. Waters. What if the devil's greatest lie was to convince humanity that the Bible was the truth?
I don't think it would be God's. I mean, I don't think it would be the devil that would be doing it, or Satan that would be doing it. I think it would be history is written by the victors. And I think there's a reason, and I've said this before on previous lives, I think there's a reason that we think of serpents and snakes in the way that we do today, because then, and they would try to blame temptation on Satan rather than Eve. Like Ace in the chat blamed it on Eve. He was trying to say that women were the problem. And I was like, I don't really necessarily think that women are the problem. If the devil tempted Eve, is it her fault that this happened, or do we fault the tempter?
They were literally born yesterday, and everybody forgets that part of the story.
Makes me wonder how relative time is, especially when people used to be living to 800 plus years old. Enoch is one of the most important people in the Bible. Changed my mind. What up, GP? Good to see you. Mind, you were getting ready to start saying something. I don't know if we threw you off, but you're more welcome to jump back in.
Okay, I wanted to ask because this is a thing I've said before that is going to happen or would be good to use somehow, but I feel like it would eventually end up getting, obviously manipulated and controlled by, again, like manipulative forces. So like a brain reading technology, right? I think that would be pretty good when it comes to catching crimes and stuff. But again, like I said, obviously people in power, there's a lot of corruption. They could literally just skew the numbers to look like whatever. And it literally up into the point where it's like, yeah, look, his brain waves are saying this and people are going to believe it. So I'm asking, how do you feel about, what's it called? The technology that's coming about in regards to using brainwaves to read people's minds.
I think it would be, I guess it would be an argument against free will if we're trying to predict future crimes from being to happen, and say we give people the knowledge, like, hey, we're going to arrest you because you're going to commit this crime in blah 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 future. Wouldn't it be more of a test of free will to tell them about the crime they were going to commit and warn them about it and see if they made the appropriate actions not to do that? or we should just
Well, it could even be argued that
vilify them
you're
and say
planting
they're
that thought.
Satanists. What was that?
It could be argued that you start planting by you doing that. You're like planting the thought in their head.
It's part of
I
the
agree.
bootstrap paradox. It makes it a bootstrap paradox in that sense, Mr. Waters. But I agree with it to a sense to have a pick your own adventure or a game that adapts to the player. Like if the player is bored, it stimulates the player, or if the player is overly whatever, it'll tone it down for the player, so to speak. Now, that's a way to use what technology you're trying to express.
Is it Thiessen in the chat? It says, do you believe Jesus is God? I believe in a higher power, but I think most earthly religions have a piece of the story, but I don't think they have it all. And I think because the Bible and most religions that we look at are written and enforced by man, I think they're, like I said, I think man's corrupted by nature, and I think it trickles down. If we're going to believe in like ideology and things like that being bad, I don't think a figure like the Pope is something to have. I don't think we should be praying to false gods. I think the Old Testament describes more than one God. And I think all of it's actually based on older Sumerian texts, especially Ace in the next comment actually brings up the fallen angels. And I think that was the Nephilim. I think we've had these flood stories about people that saved a big chunk of humanity that way predate the Old Testament. And yeah, so I think they all have a piece of the story, but I don't know if they're necessarily telling it right.
So I want to counter you and push back and say Enlil was actually more important.
It's possible, but when it comes to the Bible, I think Enoch was more important than
that's what I just
wasn't
said.
In the Bible.
No. Enlil is how Adam and Eve were even born.
It's the Yahweh, it's the Enlil, it's the
No, but that was the womb that Adam and Eve came from. You know that, right?
I thought he created.
Okay,
I thought he created him. And then are we throwing? Are we
right.
throwing,
Well, I didn't think of something.
Sorry, go ahead. Whoever was jumping in.
A little laggy. Can you hear me? Hello?
Were you going to say something? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was just talking to my brother, and I think so I came to the conclusion or realization that in reality, this body that we have actually doesn't have free will. Literally, it's slave to its own nature. What gives us free will is the actual soul. So literally, that's the thing that's making the decisions. Your soul, when you're actually using your, not being slave to your, what is it called? Yeah, your bodily desires.
I'd like to actually point out. I'd like to actually point out the fact that it has been studied that the electronic pulses are sent before you even have the personal thought of doing something. So therefore, that's a hole in what you're saying right there.
Okay.
How do they prove the thoughts? How do they read the thoughts? How do they know when the thoughts are coming in?
I have no idea. Yeah.
I'm asking him.
How do they know the thoughts came in before the electrical signal?
The point of what I'm trying to state is that the electronic the electronical signal that
your own
you
argument,
had to
if you don't
ask
know.
that question. Can you even hear what I'm saying?
No, because both of you guys are talking at the same time. So one at a time. That way we can hear each other.
Okay, so I'm answering his question. The point is that the electronical signal to even ask the question that you just asked was sent before you even formed the words to state it. So your mind knew what you was going to say before you said it or had the thought to say it. Your mind already knew what you was going to say.
So you're talking about just the operating system itself. So just like if I was to drop somebody off the screen, I would have decided that I was going to drop them off the screen before I did it.
Before
talking
your
about
hand
action.
moved to grab the mouse, your mind already knew what your hand was doing before you thought your hand was moving. Your mind knew what it was going to do.
Okay, so my question for that is the command outside of you?
And this is where it gets interesting. You can pause a command. You can halt a command. But the whole thing is that your mind had already preset to do that. You have the choice to halt it, like I said about the fart earlier. You notice the fart is in your colon. Is it going to come right out of your rectum? Nah, if you give it a little push, but you don't have to push it right now. It's the scenario.
Let me catch up the chat real quick. I didn't want you, the people in the chat to think we were leaving them behind. Once Ace said, I would say the concept of God and Satan is less of both rulers and more of the concept of the fallen angels. Satan only has the power we give him, at least from what I remember from my ministry time. And so in the Bible, Satan actually asks God's permission to do these things. He's got to get the approval of God to do these things. So why wouldn't God just say, hey, no, I don't want you to do these things to humanity, unless he is testing humanity? So that's more for Ace. And then Stone Cold said the hero's journey is holding humanity back. And it said, accept our flaws, be honest above all else, and be kind. And then Thiessen says, do you think truth is relative? I think experience is relative, but I think truth is not necessarily. I think both sides can tell a partial truth and both be right in their partial truth, but without having the full truth of something, it's hard to flesh out what the truth actually is. And Empathetic said Stone, Eve was created from the rib of man, or the rib of Adam. God pulled a Marilyn Manson and Adam to create Eve. All right, so I do think there was other beings around, whether we want to address Lilith as actually being a real creation or not. And I think the Old Testament actually gives reference to Lilith. Sounds like an AI simulation. I do think there's a place in, and even an AI simulation for religion. That's just anything that can go outside of source code, or it could be a hack in the system. It could be a virus. God itself or a higher power could be a virus in the system of AI.
And simulation theory is within multiverse theory. It all comes up. If there's an infinite amount of realities doing an infinite amount of things all at the exact same time, guess what? Everything's happening all at once.
Possible. If time is all occurring around us simultaneously.
No, we're moving through time. That's kind of strange, but yeah.
But I think there's past and present and future events all around us. I don't necessarily think, but I also don't know if it's residual energy. I also don't know if it's residual energy or what is actually
That's
all
how
around
these
us, because
sound
time is a
boxes.
human. Well, I say this because time is a human construct that's only relative to the people on this planet, and we even manipulate that to a certain extent.
But that's how these ghost box works, Mr. Waters. The sounds and vibrations of your previous lives are sitting in that room with you right now. And that's scientifically proven.
So, Curse Zero, I know that you believe in the soul, so I don't know why you're arguing with me right now. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm here, guy. Yeah. This meat costume is being controlled by something else at another location. This is true.
And I think soul is a term that we use because
as long as you're aware.
a better answer for it.
Sorry, what did you say, Jacob? Sorry.
I was saying I think the soul is something we use to describe what we don't really have an answer for.
Sorry, can you say it one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think the soul is something that we use the term soul to describe something we don't necessarily have an answer for. I think of Earth a little bit differently than everybody else does. I think of Earth similar to purgatory, and I think of ascension as heaven. I think we're doomed to repeat these life cycles until we raise our vibrations and are able to ascend, and that's what people would call heaven or Agartha or the inner earth, whatever religion or practice you might follow. I think they're all talking about the same things, and I think we're doomed to repeat these things until we are able to leave this plane of existence. Maybe it's a higher dimensional being where you don't need the meat suit anymore, and that's why they say, oh, you leave it behind and you no longer need it. But I think we're all describing the same things, but don't really have a set determination besides soul is just an easy way to try to explain that idea.
Okay, my brother wanted to respond to you real fast.
Oh yeah, of course.
Is that fine, Jacob?
Oh, okay.
I gave you some up.
It's froze.
Hello.
Okay. So you seem like a. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I'm muting in between. Sounds like there's a little bit of a delay. Yes, we can hear you. I would love to hear your opinion or your question. Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear you loud
Okay.
and clear.
So, would you agree that energy can't be created or destroyed?
I think energy, just like everything else, goes through cycles.
Yes, sir. So, would you agree that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed?
The potential for energy, maybe, because I think if we're all stardust, I don't think we're stars anymore, but I think once we were formed, we started producing a different kind of energy. I don't think hydrogen by itself or certain inanimate objects by themselves are energy, but I think they have the potential to be energy again.
Okay, so that's exactly what I was gonna say. I do think that the soul is the energy that lives on throughout multiple different things. It goes on to do and be what it wants to do and be. You know, before this, our bodies and our consciousness and everything that contains energy existed as something else. It was somewhere else, something else. And I do believe that energy that carries on that life is what the soul is. Not, I don't say the soul and not knowing what I'm talking about. When I say the soul, I do think about infinite thing that, like you said, goes through cycles. Energy is part of the soul. People don't even believe in energy. People don't even think energy is real. Inanimate objects are made of atoms, which are
energy
actually charged negatively and positively.
Yeah,
that do interact with each other and change throughout the day multiple times. One atom will change to another atom when they share electrons. So
let's
inanimate objects do have.
Let's stop for 1 second. So do you think all matter has a soul?
No, I think all matter has energy, and I do think that energy.
I agree. All matter has a
is
potential.
the thing that our soul.
The potential. Well, according to Einstein, E equals mc squared, which means energy equals matter.
That's part of it.
No. That's mass multiplied by the speed of light squared equals energy. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, you got me there.
But yeah, you did the E.
You finished it.
But
I wasn't talking about the formula. I was saying though that energy is always existing, and that does the soul and energy. The soul is a certain type of energy. It's not just something that's made up. I mean, this people saying that we've had a soul for a long time. It's not just a story.
Yeah, and that's a different type of
know?
energy. That's the energy of motion.
The energy of motion. Don't we calculate the energy of motion as like time or something?
Different type of energy. That's a different type of energy.
Yeah, Yes,
You're
I
talking
do
about-
agree. I do agree with you.
You're talking about energy waves, not energy as motion.
I'm talking about energy in general. Energy continues, like we said already, it goes through different cycles, but it's still energy. It changes. You know, when you burn wood, it changes to gas and it changes to something else, but it's never dissipates from this earth. When you die, your body's gonna become something else. Our consciousness becomes something else. It's not like unknown to us. It's just it's hard for people to believe. When you don't experience something, you're not gonna believe it.
Yeah, I would like to just add on to that real quick and say that the soul, definitely for me, is infinite energy that's directly connected to consciousness. So I think it's not, just a random thing that I don't know what it is.
So
Hello,
the
mic check,
energy wave is there. It's known as the Higgs field. It's always interacting with us. The way that we collapse so-called wave to a specific point and reality where we are all sitting is our conscious that we are collectively sitting in the same room. So that's what I mean by collapsing the wave function. Your specific consciousness has decided to be here at this point in time during prime perception. It does not mean that there isn't multiple parallel as well as perpendicular as well as simultaneous realities running right now alongside but not intersecting directly with prime perception. That is how everything is predetermined because everything is occurring.
So
To
let me
answer
jump in here.
everyone's question at the same time.
Let me jump back in here for a minute. So you brought up fire. I don't know if it was you or your brother, mind, but I think wood is a great example of that. I think wood, dead wood that is no longer living, has the potential for energy with other ingredients, but not by itself. I think matter has the potential for energy, but it needs other things, or it needs the right combination of things. This is why we learned about, the triangle when it comes to fire and why things burn. Sometimes you need oxygen, you need a fuel source, you need all of these things in order for energy to be produced out of said materials. So I think not all materials have energy in them. There can be inanimate objects that are not producing energy and actively decaying as well.
That's how we figure out carbon dating, right? Isn't that how we figure out carbon dating? We determine how much the atom has actually decayed through the process of it decaying and losing the atoms that it has.
And this is also why we can't carbon date rocks the same way that we can do organic matter. If that makes any sense. Usually when we carbon date rocks, we usually do them on, oh, you're good. Usually when we do carbon dating, when it comes to rocks, we usually do it on the layer of the earth that we're pulling it from with other geological things to figure it out. But since you use carbon dating as a reference. But no, these are very intriguing questions. I actually like them. I appreciate it, Mind, for coming up here tonight. Got us into some good combos, good thought experiments.
I didn't move away yet. It's because I have a different understanding.
Okay, I just wanted to say
than what you do, Ace. Go ahead, go ahead.
Like scientifically speaking, right? I'm gonna have to take off right now. I didn't. We call a zero state of energy. Zero state of energy, because even in a vacuum, there's these what we call virtual particles that will pop up in and out of existence, and they don't know where the hell it's coming from because it's not equated with any. Yeah, it's a quantum fluctuation of the background
No,
radiation. That's what they say it is.
it's the quantum foam on a Planck square of area. There is
They say
matter
a
and
couple of different things.
antimatter appearing and slamming into each other on Planck time. Yes, this has literally been scientifically studied and measured.
But just like those
Yeah,
things,
they come to a couple of different conclusions.
but you need multiple things for those things to happen. Just like you need multiple things for a black hole to form. It doesn't just form out of nowhere. There's usually certain ingredients that it's usually mass, usually falling into itself, and there's certain requirements that have to happen for things to occur. It's not just a random occurrence that we can't explain. Like a particle accelerator is a great example of this in creating mini black holes that they assume will close on themselves. But it has to do with firing particles at high speeds. And that's why said events are actually occurring. Like the Hadron Collider is a great example of this. It might seem to the outside eye like these things are just popping out of nowhere for no reason, but it's not. There's other events that are happening in order to make this energy either get drawn from this. Because if you believe in cycles, and I kind of do believe in cycles, and I think it works on a micro level as well as a macro level. So if we're talking about our universe and everything in it, let's say that eventually all black holes eventually swallow each other and we swallow all the mass inside of our universe. I think on the opposite side of that black hole is a white fountain, and that's what we call the Big Bang. And what we call the Big Bang is just a rebirth of a universe. It's just a constant cycle that keeps happening. And there's probably plenty of universes in the past that went out of existence because all of the matter was swallowed up inside of that universe and spit out somewhere else.
And matter is not energy, right? Matter has no energy in it.
Matter has the potential of energy.
Why so matter, so the energy is in the matter?
I think in order to get a chemical reaction, you have to have the right chemicals. If that makes sense.
Atoms themselves are not. Wait, but the atoms themselves are not energy?
I don't think all atoms are measured the same way. Like if you're talking about the decay of something rather than the active growth of something, those are two different types of energies. And I do think you need other factors in there to see, even if it's decaying, usually oxygen exposure has to do with why something decays. So you need other ingredients in order for something to decay. Absolute zero is a good determination.
About energy. I'm talking about just energy and the quantum energy.
I know, and I think you need other things to happen. If the temperature was absolute zero, do atoms move? You guys heard of absolute zero? It's when the temperature is to the lowest point that atoms don't even move.
No, they don't.
So have you heard of this?
If you know,
so does that mean energy is no longer happening?
We haven't gotten anything to absolute zero. That's a thing that has been eluding our ability.
I caught some of that. I didn't do that. I think he just got disconnected. He might be reconnecting. Might have been a connection issue. Do you know you're having a good discussion with Ace? What are you guys talking about over here?
I don't know. I just got back.
Oh no, it's all good.
Comments.
Everything. Okay, let me see. I want to see where you and Ace started. Cursed, under your ideology, you don't believe in free will? Question mark. Everything is happening, has happened, and will occur. There is nothing, therefore, nothing is free will, as everything is predetermined. Interesting concept, I guess. And then Crystal says, if Adam and Eve were the first people on Earth, where did the Neanderthals come from? Be an argument for evolution. It's a great one. 1 second, I'll bring you right back up, mind. Stone Cold says consciousness at first principle makes more sense than first principle leads to consciousness. Cursed. So if everything is predetermined, why do morals have any play in your live view? In your live view, for every action there is a reaction. Words are terrible conveyors of thought. Cursed. I still think you're not fully bought in your concept. Like morality would not matter if everything is predetermined. Good. Care for others evil. Care for self. Just an example. Cursed. I think we would both agree that there are things that you should never do, like grape. So what is stopping you if there is no free will? Cursed. Also, on that note, if it's pre-programmed, how can anything be wrong? In your ideology, grape should be punished because you had no choice. It was pre-programmed. I'll let you answer that, Cursed, if you want to.
Well, those are some heavy questions. Those are some heavy hitters right there.
Yeah.
I already explained it, and it was basically explained through everything as simultaneously happened all at the exact same time. And the way that we determine prime perception is where we actually resonate in the reality which we are within.
And the fart thing. Don't forget the fart thing.
But yeah, I do think there is a balance to this. Like if you're gonna say, like, especially because I don't know if it was the mind or Curse that proposed the idea of like the predestination of like what's it called, convicting people of future crimes. I mean, that would only be doable, I think, if people didn't have free will. But I could be mistaken. I don't know.
Yeah, Minority Report kind of creates a bootstrap paradox in a sense. Was my take
with
on
the
that.
knowledge, with the knowledge of it, like you guys were saying, if somebody
if you
about
obtain
it,
the knowledge that if somebody walked up to Mr. Waters tomorrow and said that he's going to rob the bank on Monday, so we're going to arrest him today because the AI has told us that Mr. Waters is going to rob his bank on Monday. Well, you know what? Mr. Waters now knows that you know that he's going to rob the bank on Monday. So what's stopping him from doing it Wednesday? What's stopping him from not doing it? What's stopping him from throwing away the plan because you told him? It creates a bootstrap paradox in a sense.
But I do think things that happen on a macro level can I don't think everything that's what's it called on a quantum level doesn't actually happen on a localized level. It's like the idea of observation. I'll bring you up in 1 second. GPS site back there. The idea of observation is a great example. Like when humans are being watched, they act different. Just like if you were to watch an atom or something like that in the double slit experiment, you can actually get the atom to act differently when being observed. And that's why they try to use this analogy of like dropping something between the seat of your car. Like when you reach down for it, it falls further because you're reaching down for it or because you're trying
Also,
to.
now you believe in atoms.
What was that? What was that, Mind? I couldn't hear you. So not even atoms? Is that what you said?
No, I thought you didn't believe in atoms, like because atoms are made up of energy and
No. I didn't say I didn't believe in atoms.
Energy. I mean, matter energy.
I never said I didn't believe in atoms. I don't think.
Okay, well, you know, atoms are energy, right?
I think you would have to accept the idea that all atoms are moving and producing energy. I don't think necessarily that they're producing energy. And I think you could use examples like that on a quantum level to show you that they're not always going to be where you think they are. They're not always doing what you think they're going to be doing.
Okay, I got one question for you. If all atoms aren't producing energy, then why do they give off a what is that thing called? A what is that color? It's a certain spectrum of light. Red,
Ultraviolet.
ultraviolet, yeah, light.
All atoms give off
If they're not
ultraviolet light.
yeah, if they don't produce energy.
I didn't know that. Let me see. Do all
Is
atoms
it ultraviolet? I think ultraviolet's the highest one. It's the lowest one because ultraviolet's the highest one. It's what's the red light called?
Okay, so I just looked it up. No, not all atoms give off light at the same time or in the same way, but an atom can be made to emit light if it is given enough energy. So even an atom would need energy to emit light.
Right.
Okay. No, literally, if I go off of this thing, it's going to kick me off.
You're talking about a photon, I believe.
I can. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go look for it.
Okay, I just looked it up. No, not. I
Oh,
can
no,
pull it on the screen. Let me see. So you guys can see what I'm looking at. So you're not just thinking I'm just pulling this out of my butt.
You can't be pulling stuff out of your butt, Jacob.
You'd be surprised what I can get out of my butt.
If you push a little bit.
I'm not touching it.
All right, so
Heyo.
this says not all atoms give off light at the same time or in the same way, but any atom can be made to emit light if it is given enough energy. For an atom to emit visible light, its electrons must be in an, what does it say, excited higher energy state. So they need more energy, like he was saying. And
No, but it's about visible light. I'm not talking about visible light.
And then drop to a lower energy level, releasing the excess energy as a photon, a particle of light. So it wasn't ultraviolet like I stated before.
I'm not talking about visible light. No.
Okay, well they release photons. That's what they release, and it's usually because of a fluctuation of energy levels.
Okay, but they also emit light that's non-visible because right here it's specifically saying no that they don't emit visible light. I never said they emit visible light. They emit the lowest frequency of light, which is not visible to the naked eye.
Okay, so it's not light. So
it is light, but it's not visible. No, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Okay, so
the next question will be: do atoms give off infrared light?
Okay. Do atoms give off infrared light? Yes, all atoms give off infrared light because they have thermal energy. I know. You just had to give me the right thing to look up, man. I wasn't saying that you were wrong. I was just saying I looked up what you were asking me. Here, let me pull this up so everybody can see it. Show you that everybody that he was right. It is infrared light. Yes, all atoms give off infrared light because they have thermal energy and are constantly in motion. As atoms jiggle and vibrate, they emit thermal radiation, which is a form of electromagnetic radiation that peaks in the infrared part of the spectrum for most everyday objects. Not all everyday objects, most everyday objects. The hotter an object is, the more infrared radiation it emits.
Told you. There you go. Everything that is not at below free, because like you said, you need to get it to absolute zero, which is basically impossible because scientists have never done that in a lab. They've tried to. You can't do it. Yeah. So basically, if it has any kind of heat, it's going to be
it colder than space. I can say that much. We've definitely got it colder in space in a lab.
Yeah, we definitely got close. Definitely got close, but not close enough. So there's still energy within
space is
everything.
about 2 to 4 degrees off of absolute zero. We've actually got.
And yes, it does have to do with motion.
We've had colder temperatures on Earth.
Yeah. Jesus is photon. I fell out of my chair whenever I read that. That was hilarious.
The greatest examples of this that we have on Earth are the flash freezings that we had. We have it with dinosaurs as well as species that are no longer on this planet that were flash frozen while still digesting food, which means it would have to be upwards of minus 150 degrees all at once. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about Celsius or Fahrenheit, because anything after minus 45, I believe they come to the same measurement. I don't know what the actual temperature is for absolute zero or how
I
close
think
we've
it's
been to
negative 453 Fahrenheit, give or take a degree. It's somewhere around there.
But yeah, we've flash frozen things. Well, not purposely. Things have been flash frozen on this planet that are over several tons almost instantly. So in order to reach those, you're talking about minus 150 and higher. But I don't know how far that is from. I would have to see what absolute zero is. I should probably look that up too.
Yeah, even if the atoms are frozen. Wait, but even if the atoms are frozen, even if they're frozen, from our own perspective, they still have energy within those atoms, which are quarks. Those things are still moving. If those things weren't moving, the whole atom itself would deteriorate. I just wanted to say hello to GP.
Hi, how are you?
Absolute zero is minus 273.15 degrees Celsius and minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit, which I don't.
I knew it was 450 something.
But I to the best of my knowledge, I thought everything actually over under minus 45. I thought the scales actually come together. I learned that from a science fiction show. Particles and substance reach their lowest possible energy.
The Kelvin scale actually starts at absolute zero.
Yep.
Because even particle motion stops at absolute zero.
Correct.
And it's the starting point of the Kelvin scale, which is the standard unit for scientific temperature measurement.
Yeah, Jacob, it was nice having you. I gotta go. One of my friends went live, so I'm gonna go hang out over there for a little bit. But
it was nice having you.
I appreciate.
Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, I appreciate. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.
Yeah, Ace, it's just the multiverse, and the whole thing is that there is the ability to travel between realities that are similarly close enough, and scientists have brought this onto another scale, which has caused a mass, what many people choose to call it, misremembering. So yeah, science has proved this, that the multiverse is real. It's just many people choose to not acknowledge it because many people have only perceived a single reality in their lifetimes.
To be fair, I don't think science has gotten over string theory yet either. So I don't think they've fully embraced the multiverse concept yet, but I think it's still on the table as a theory. But
hey man, take your string and divide up the threads. You'll still find multiverse theory. You'll still find M theory right there.
I'm more into the leaning that multiverse is probably what we're actually living in, because I've always thought that's what I thought of as people that are doing certain time travel experiments. I actually think they're visiting parallel dimensions to our own.
Yes, and that's kind of what I get down to. We are within a prime perception, yet there is a way to lifeboat to other realities that they have scientifically figured out, as well as you can personally do it if you know how to do it. It's kind of like whenever you find that extra item that you forgot that you had. That's you going to another reality where you didn't use said item. So now, therefore, the item exists. It's pretty simple.
But like I said,
dimensions are a whole nother concept. My bad, GP.
That's okay. Like I said earlier, for every action, there is a reaction.
Yeah, and I kind of use that myself by stating if I project my negativity to the universe as a whole, it is forced to give me the equal amount of opposite energy back. So what does that mean, everybody?
You run
That
into
means
a
not.
brick wall trying to expect different results, and you're just going to get.
You just go back to science. You do a repeated action knowing the result. Because if you expect a different result, that's insanity.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, and not everything gives us energy that's useful to us. Like energy is kind of a vague term.
Yeah, we also dive through that because energy of motion is not the energy within us, as well as energy within us is not the energy that the sun gives off.
Exactly. Well, I think both of those can be actually classified as kinetic energy. That's why they say somebody's mood can be infectious, just like a laugh can be infectious. Somebody's energy that they get off can be connective, just like the sun applying heat to your skin or something like that, or lack thereof.
Energy.
Send us some energy. We need it.
Cold out there?
Yeah.
What are you guys' temperatures sitting like?
It's been in the 30s and 40s here.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, we were 20 something this morning, but it's not so bad now. It's warmed up a little bit. I think we broke 30.
It's still
It was really cold when I went in outside today.
I mean, if it's below 68 degrees, it's too cold.
Hey, Mr. Waters, I'm going to play the counting game real quick. So infinity to the infinite power, infinity times equals alpha null. Alpha null to the alpha null power, alpha null time equals omega. Omega to the omega power, omega time equals epsilon naught. There is no such thing as epsilon naught. This is the epsilon naught plus 1. This is the frontier of counting. So if you say epsilon naught, this is how you win the counting game.
But can't you just put things to the infinite power?
That's what I just did. I just went infinity to the infinite power infinity times. And we came to a number known as alpha null. So we took alpha null to the alpha null power, alpha null times, and we came to the number known as omega.
So bad.
So aren't you just talking about rate and not necessarily a higher number, just the rate in order to get there? Infinite's the same number. What you're describing is the rate of getting there.
Yes, how to go beyond said number, yes.
You can't go beyond said number.
Alpha null is a number greater than infinity. Look it up. And
No,
omega is a number greater than alpha null. And epsilon naught sits at the peak.
See if I'm spelling this right. Alpha null. I'm probably not spelling it right. ALPHNOEL.
Yeah, it's a weird word.
I can't even find it.
ALPHNULL. NULL.
NULL.
Yeah, PH. No. Let's see if my ducks come back with something.
Let's see. Let's get meaning behind alpha null. Alpha null, which there's a sign for it, is the smallest infinite cardinal number, representing the size of the set of all natural numbers. It is the cardinally of any set. Am I pronouncing that wrong? CARDINALITY. Cardinally? I don't know, cardinality. I don't know.
Cardinally.
Of any set that can be put into one-to-one correspondence with the natural number, a property known as countably infinite. So yeah, it's just a rate on top of infinite, because there's not a number larger than infinity. It's known.
Do you know how to break the Hilbert Hotel?
You can't. It's infinite.
Yes, you can break a Hilbert Hotel.
Oh, she got disconnected. Sorry, I was looking away. If you believe there is a multiverse, you believe in infinity. Yeah, I do believe in infinity. I do believe that's a real thing. And when we're talking about the multiverse, I like to think I like the bowl of marbles analogy, and pretend we're one marble in it. I think the marbles closest to us are going to be relatively close to our existence, and they're only going to have slight variations. And then the farther you get away, the more variations you get, and the more away from, I guess, what we would call our own base reality that you would get to.
Yeah, I like explaining it like notebooks. Each universe is an atom on one of the pages. Similar concept.
He said, y'all, sorry, I said he. I didn't mean to assign gender to your name because I have no idea. Y'all are trying to grasp eternity. Jesus is the teacher who will get you there. And then Ace said, like Men in Black. No, I'd like, I think for every decision you make, there is or every decision at all, not just the ones that you make, there is a splitting reality off of every single decision that's made, because everything that can happen will happen, and it'll get drug out in its own timelines.
And I've done the math on that before, and we don't even break a decillion. Even with all the people on the planet, even with how many thoughts we have in an hour or a minute, etc., ... we only get to a couple hundred octillion realities. We don't even get anywhere close to infinity.
That's a good question, Ace. So are you pre-programmed to believe in multiple realities, or is it something that we've established over time? Like, and I think it's something we've established over time. I don't think I think we had to come to this conclusion in my lifetime. Because I think we're still grasping with the concept of multiple realities. So maybe we're coming to the grasp of understanding it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I think it's like higher dimensions. Just because you can't fathom it doesn't mean that there's not higher dimensions that you can't fathom. They're definitely there. I think God would be a great example of this. Say God was a higher dimensional being. It's like having a two-dimensional object, like a piece of, like, I know a piece of paper is not two-dimensional. A drawing on a piece of paper will pretend it's two-dimensional. If it was to look back, if a stick figure was to look back at you, the person drawing it, it would only see one part of you. It wouldn't actually see all of your three dimensions, because it wouldn't have the ability to.
Yeah, you'd literally be a slice of what you are within its perception.
Yeah.
A slice with no depth. One of the three dimensions, height, width, depth, would not be presented within their understanding. Like right now, if you'd made the decision not to type out that question right there, that already split reality.
I think Ace is basing it on the idea of predetermined decisions. So if you're not actually making the choice, is it a decision that sparks off a new reality, or was it something that was bound to birth because the predestination concept of this has to happen and everything will happen. So you have to make a different decision, and it has to spring out into this universe. And then it goes back to the idea of, is there really free will if all of these things are predetermined to happen based on said decisions? If I'm Ace, let me know if I'm getting that wrong.
And honestly, I've been waiting for Mr. Waters for about an hour to adjust his headphones, and he still hasn't done it yet.
What have I done? What's wrong with my headphones?
Oh, just I'm making an example of what I'm trying to explain here.
I think the idea of it, Ace, would have to be that it would have to, I guess it would have to exist, but just hasn't come into fruition yet.
And to further elaborate upon that, we've actually scientifically proven that a reality with backwards time does exist.
Curse, you want to hear something funny?
Please don't scare me. Are you going to make my butthole throw up?
I'm not going to make your... Don't shit your pants. Ace is my brother.
Hey, I'm glad you told me not to shit my pants.
Yeah, don't shit your pants. Don't make your butthole throw up.
Because I was wondering why Ace was picking on me.
He's not picking on you. He's just trying to understand your ideology. He's very like, and I liked his line of questioning, and that's why I let it continue. Is because he's actually just trying to understand. I can tell he's not. He's very religious. He's not poking fun.
Oh yeah, because I am prime perception.
You did it in this real, or does the alternative? Okay, sorry, let me see. But if you don't make the decision, how does it split? Or does the alternative universe already exist? You did it in this reality. I would assume it has to. The idea of it has to exist, but I think it would take away the idea of free will. I think that's where it kind of borderlines on if you still have free will. If all of these things are meant to happen and will happen, I guess the only thing you wouldn't know is the order and when it does.
You forgot that part. It has happened, it is happening, and it will occur.
Okay, so that means there is a waiting process, though, for some things.
Correct. The cylindrical universe goes back around itself, big bang, big crunch, and then we all go do this again.
So
Sorry,
basically,
I was saying he pooed in this universe. What was that, GP? Sorry.
I said that, so that means that somebody's out there, they keep hitting the restart button.
Well, that's one way to understand it whenever you're inside of it. But if you're outside of it, it just looks like a giant string. That's why it's called string theory to some people's perception. And that's why I said you take your threads inside of your string theory and realize that there's actually a multiverse inside of your singular string that you thought was a singular string. You have strands and threads inside of it. And that's what makes up the multiverse inside of the string theory. And this is why these dimensions cannot be perceived, because A and B, they're too large and or too small for us to comprehend. Because the quarks are in a different, quote, dimension than the neutrons and protons and electrons. We are in a different dimension than molecules, because those molecules are in a different dimension than the electrons, protons, and neutrons, as well as the quarks are in a different dimension than the molecules, as well as the protons, neutrons, and electrons. So right there, I just created 3 dimensions. Now jump up to our range. We have 3 additional dimensions. And we're also not within that kind of perception. So we just jumped up to 6. And all we have to do is double that number one more time. And we get up to the theoretical number that is required.
So I also think there's a really good religious explanation for this as well. So say you believe in a higher power, and let's pretend said higher power can exist on the planet as we know it. unless he was to maybe create a sun and send him down to Earth or something like that. So what if God created or the higher power created a race of beings? Maybe they're in his own image, maybe they're not, maybe they're an image of himself mixed with clay and dirt from the earth. But is it possible that the higher power is living vicariously through his creation because he can't have the experience that we're having on this planet?
The movie called The Nines with Melissa McCartney and Ryan Reynolds. Excellent. If you haven't watched it, you need to check this thing out. This is exactly what Mr. Waters just legitimately explained. We are all pieces of the ever-encompassing consciousness that has always existed, the actual eternal one, and we're experiencing ourselves so that we can experience is literally how deep, and let me hit the pipe, we go here.
What's the name of it? The Nines?
The Nines.
Can I find that?
Melissa McCartney, and it has Ryan Reynolds in it. The only movie with Melissa McCartney and Ryan Reynolds in the same movie.
I'm seeing where it's available right now. Or where can I watch The Nines? Let's see.
Or I have all purpose. Or is it that I have all purpose, Ace? Because everything and nothing are the exact same thing within science.
Yeah, it's
even
free
though
on.
they're completely different polar opposites. What's up?
It's free on Tubi right now. If you would like to watch it, otherwise it's $3.99 on Google Play, $3.99 at Fandango at home. YouTube is $3.99. Everywhere else it's $3.99 basically, but it's free on Tubi right now. If anybody wants to watch it.
Yeah, it's the only movie that Melissa McCartney and Deadpool are in.
And he can't be trusted. Ryan Reynolds. If you're dating Ryan Reynolds, he very well might record you while you're sleeping. If anybody does want to check out the movie, here's the link for free in the chat. And here's one for Giggle Pickles in the private chat. Just
I'm looking it up right now.
It's in the private chat for you. All you gotta do is click the link. Boom.
Oh,
Gotcha.
I got it up on the TV anyway.
Nice. I thought that was a soccer movie, to be fair. When I first saw the title of it, because I've scrolled past it before, I actually haven't seen the movie.
So, Mr. Waters, you might want to literally put on the brain like I've watched this movie 3 times, because you need to pay attention to every little hair follicle moving, or else you're going to miss something extremely important, or you're going to get lost in the shit that's right in front of your face. Kind of like the movie Predestination. If you don't get off of what's shoved right in front of your face, you're going to miss the fact of you're the driver, your mom, your dad, and in the back seat of the car all at the same time.
But Ace, I think you're missing the waiting element to it as well, because of I would say because of the human construct of time.
Show.
We are also slaves to time as well. So therefore, some of these things we have to wait for them to take place.
Yeah, just like you can only physically play one game on a single console at a time. You can only load one PlayStation disc inside your PlayStation at a time. Is the best way that can be explained.
Yeah, that's a good one. You have all of them there. But you have the choice of which ones you activate each time, but they're all there and all have the potential of being selected.
But this is prime perception.
But I think preloaded would be a good example of these are the only decisions you're allowed to make, and it's the illusion of free will. That's the negative to that analogy.
And then we go into the Library of Babel, where technically the script of reality is sitting right there in front of your face, but a lot of people refuse to do the digging to find where present is.
There would be just as many universes where there'd probably be more where you don't exist. But yeah, there's one that you would be a movie star. There's one that you would be dirt poor. There's one that you never exist. There's one that anything you can fathom would be there. There's ones that dinosaurs never went extinct and they're still roaming the earth. There's ones that the earth never held life. Like anything you can fathom, there would be one of those. And
exactly like Gigi wearing a hat.
She only wears masks on this channel. Masks and wigs.
Hey, I'm not that old, and I still rode a dinosaur to school.
I did too. I still got mine.
Was it a brontosaurus or a tyrannosaurus?
No, it was a lickalotopus.
Yeah. Oh, wait. That was Hillary's ass, even though we're not supposed to talk about the Clintons.
Yeah. It's a first rule. No, you're not. You wouldn't be in all of them, Ace.
No, 98% of Infinity of Realities I'm not within because my dad put on a rubber. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. And now I'm only in the singular 1% remaining of the realities because the other 1% was my other body that I had before I was 19. And this is why the Mandela event goes deeper than logos and scripts for me.
Oh yeah, just think about all the different. Just think about all this different scenarios where a different sperm could have won, Ace. Think about how many sperm are shot out. This is a small frame example of how infinite the possibilities
1 million sperm. It takes over 1 million sperm to inseminate one little egg.
No, it only takes one. That's why people with low fertility have a less likely chance of getting said person pregnant. But there's also a lot of variables in that. I'm not pretending to be a doctor either, but it definitely only takes one egg and one sperm.
So Kakarot, when do I officially get to meet? When do I officially get to meet Radix?
Radix? I don't know. I think it'd be fun to have him on to do something spiritual. I think he would be very similar in ideology as Mr. Newman, mixed with a little bit of Trumper on top of there. So probably more Western.
Then I'm gonna start sending you the things that like we discussed about being CAs. Yeah, I'm gonna start sending you those things to like make sure you have more ammo to see if you can pick up anything. Like, is religion just psychotic? Is religion a psychosis? So. Stuff like that, man. Let you check that out.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Like I said, I think it comes down to like even what the mind was saying when it comes to personal experience. Like you could be introduced to religion in all the wrong way, and you could be geared away from it. Like, what if the only time
you can be influenced as a child and it sticks with you your entire life because it becomes part of your character.
True, and this is why I told Mr. Newman when I talked to him was I would never be able to convince him any other way than what he thought because of his personal experience. I could tell he had a moment where he found God, and there was nothing I could tell him because of how traumatic his story was. There was nothing that was going to shake his belief, regardless of evidence.
And realize whenever he talked about his NDE, I said, yeah, dude, I can't count the amount of times I've had NDEs. It sucks whenever you are literally suicidal, and then so my bad, I said the bad word. And then you ask other people to assist you.
You just didn't have an experience that maybe because you've had so many of them that you've become numb to it, or maybe it's because the one that he had just impacted him so much. I know people do it with hallucinogens. People find
That's
it.
why I literally state I've been to Damnation and Paradise. I've seen the Golden Road within the Chrome Street Show. I'm not crazy. I've been there.
So let's see. So how can you travel between them? Whose universes are we following? And if we switch one, you never exist. Did it ever happen? So I don't think. Okay, so and this is where we start getting into paradoxes a little bit, and they're not necessarily time paradoxes, but I think energy paradoxes. Because so say you were to put two relatively equivalent energies together, would they cancel each other out or would they nullify each other? A lot of people talk about this when they're talking about time travel, and this is all theoretical at this point because I follow a lot of time travelers. I've heard their stories. They talk about how they went back in time and experienced an event. And then they said they did it multiple times. And then every time that they went back and experienced the event, it changed slightly. Or people were in different spots, wearing different outfits, or different things occurred. And it made me almost think that they were visiting parallel universes to our own because they would come back with answers to questions, and not all of the answers came true in this universe. I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, I don't know about any technology that's been proven to me where you can actually do this. The closest thing that I would consider to be valid is a chronovisor, and that's only because of the idea that energy can't be destroyed, which is what the mind was referencing. And I do think that works with, it doesn't matter if you're talking about spirits or if you're talking about traumatic events that happened. That's why I think when people go to like Civil War sites, they'll talk about feeling energy of other people. And I'm like, all right, well, there's a really good chance that if you're feeling the energy of other people, it's residual energy, or there was so much energy exposed at that area, and that's why you're able to feel it. And that's why people that are intuitive.
Real quick, my bad, Mr. Waters, but talking about Civil War grave sites, dude, the couple times that I've drove, well, I was riding in the car, but I've drone into Gettysburg, dude, if you can see, not just feel, if you can see like I can, there's literally a wall of, yeah, there's just standing there. It's like they're trapped inside of that city, and it's insane. If you can see, there are only some people are more inclined to this than others, is also what I can state. Some people don't just get the goosebumps and the weird sensations and the thoughts in their head. And I'm not saying it's nonsense. I'm just saying the thoughts in your head, the intuition. Some people can physically see this stuff because this is legitimately there.
Yes, sir. They can, and I'm one of them.
And I think animals have high intuition on this. I think children do. I think when we're talking about past lives and stuff like that, I think they're able to tap into energy that's a little bit different than everybody else references. And I don't know if it's because of a veil that we have over ourselves or a disconnect, I guess, from what we want to call reality. But I do think there's other things around us that are happening simultaneously, even if it's lower level energies, maybe it's higher level energies that are operating around us. But I do think we can tap into these things, whether we're talking about meditation, whether we're talking about drugs, or just the ability that some people have by themselves.
And going back to the obviousness of what each and every one of us can do on an individual basis and have witnessed on an individual basis to prove to ourselves our personal anecdotal knowledge, do you not think that in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and probably still ongoing today, the projects that weren't declassified actually gave them information that they're not using? I mean, not to say they're not using. I mean, they're not telling us that they're using it. So, quote, they're not using it. As well as, this has been proven back in the film industry. They used to cut certain things into the movies because they knew that the human mind can only see, I think it's 30 frames per second. So they insert little framed things into movies, suggestive things or something of such of like that. This has also been part of declassified things, but I'm pointing at also the things that they kept classified, that they figured out. Do you think that our personal experience can relate to those things that they kept classified?
You're gonna have to refresh me on what you just said, but I gotta answer the chat real quick. Okay.
Go ahead, go to the chat. They're more important
So
than me.
Canadian, yeah, there's 2 lives. This is a new feature on StreamYard. It's called Mars, and basically what it does is I can simultaneously stream to people that are on their phones as well as do a horizontal live. And to Forrest, yeah, I don't have a problem if you think it's gay. It's all right. I enjoy these conversations. Don't get me wrong. I actually did want to talk about some other stuff too, but I do like the idea of esoteric ideas and why we're here, what our purpose is, the validity of, I don't know, the decisions that we make, and if we're actually in a simulation, what religions actually hold water. Yeah, I do think these are all fun discussions to have, but I appreciate it. Yeah, Golden.
Religions are flood. We don't
hold on a second. Cursed. I'm just joking, man. Yeah, Golden. Yeah, we said hi multiple times. I hope you're doing well. The Mind was on here with us earlier. Cursed is up here now. We got GP up here now, and yeah, it's good to see you. I wanted to make sure it was your channel because I dropped a wrench over there before. I wanted to make sure you got it. But yeah, you're always welcome to join us. Stop in and say hi. Whatever is on your mind, feel free to drop us and let us know. That's different. They're 2 separate streams.
Me and David was walking through a store. I know that I have abilities. Yes, I can see spirits and all that. Tell me this. When you're walking through a big store and something hits you and it emotionally tears you up until you turn and go in a different direction, how is that possible?
I think there's all kinds of variables in there. It's like, is the store on like sacred land that has a lot of energy held to it? Is there somebody outside influencing you? Like there could be energy coming from another being or another entity, or you could be affected just by our planetary alignments. There's all kinds of things that can actually control your perception of things, I would think.
Now, when we have like a Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, that's the only things I don't go with because they're actually optical illusions, but go ahead.
Well, when we have a Mercury retrograde, all the spirits that I normally hear, they go dead quiet.
But yeah, I'm doing well, Ty. It's good to see you. And
but we was walking through a store yesterday. There was a man in front of us, and I just got so emotional. Me and my charge had to go in a different direction, and as soon as we went in a different direction, I was fine.
Was it possibly because of the man in front of you? Like we were just talking about kinetic energy. I think people's emotions can bleed off into other people. Like negative energy is infectious. I think just like positive energy is. I think what you surround yourself with makes a huge difference on what you accept into your life. This is why I try to avoid echo chambers. I'm happy to talk to people that I disagree with, as long as you don't have your feet in the sand about ideas, or you don't compromise your own morals, because there is a balance. You don't want to compromise your own morals to understand somebody else, because you might find yourself doing things that you wouldn't normally do. And that's usually a sign of bad energy as well. There's a lot of things that could drive you.
Can I ask you a question with that one?
Of course.
if you already understand how they're going to represent their side of the argument, is it fair to say that you can not listen to them, like such as the basic Orthodox or the basic Catholic or the basic Protestant? If you already know their viewpoints on how they're going to approach an argument, can you just decide to be like, yo, this is how it's going to be anyway, because I already know how you're going to come at me, and this is how I'm already retaliating?
No, because I think our definitions of things evolve over time. I'll give you a great example. A few people that might have seen my live recently, they might have seen a rabbi that I've talked to a couple times going to the ICE facility. He's a black gentleman. He's known as the rabbi that comes down there all the time. He's pro-Palestine. I wouldn't necessarily guess that off of meeting him because of his beliefs towards Israel, but because I sat there and didn't have any preconceived notions about his beliefs and was able to open up and listen to him, that gave me the ability to better understand him. I think people like to classify themselves into groups so people can better understand them, but sometimes you have to thread out those ideas a little bit more.
Yes, every individual is slightly different, but whenever you come down to the basic understanding of what they're supposed to understand, it's always the same viewpoint of what's going on. It depends. I understand, but the core concept, if the conversation is what the conversation is, you already know what the conversation is going to be. But if you diverge off of what the conversation was, then that comes to a point where, yeah, I'd like to have your insight on the way you understand things. But personally, why have we as an individual worried about other countries using the Skinner box against their citizens? We're one person. You're one person. GP's one person. I understand that together we can probably, hopefully, figure out some other way to do something bigger, but each individually, we have no say-so. We really don't, man.
I think it all comes down to...
I wouldn't say I'm one person, because I can be sitting here and somebody that I know could be in a different county and see me over there.
Okay.
So
nobody knows.
I was about to make a joke about GP being fluid, but I decided not to. And we're moving on to the next.
So I'd say spirits are actually inclined to decide whenever they no longer want to be on, I'll say it in Mudrabbit's words, third density. But ghosts are trapped in a constant loop. So therefore, ghosts wouldn't create any more realities as to state. But spirits, while they still exist and can physically interact with things that gain the ability to, yeah, maybe, question mark, they can be part of the same pool, but it's still within their original set of realities they were interacting with.
Okay, let me answer that a little bit, Ace. I think you're conflating, and you're not trying to. I know you're not trying to. I think you're conflating two ideas. Like, there's ghosts in the idea of this thing used to be alive and we can think of it. And then there's also things that are spiritual that didn't die. I think a jinn would be a good example of this that we can think of in history. And they're not necessarily positive or negative. They actually are considered neutral. There can be bad ones and good ones, but by nature, they're actually neutral. And I don't think they're the same thing as a ghost. And I think if you start dabbling into those things, you can start getting into the idea of possession and stuff like that, and what's able to possess and what's able to like not be able to possess. You can actually.
Do you mean neutral or indifferent before you move along?
Neutral when it comes to not working for a positive higher power and not working for a negative higher power. Or
that's why I asked, did you mean neutral or indifferent?
I would say neutral as in doesn't pick a side, doesn't pick a positive or negative side. Like a great example is like when you think of a genie, or a djinn or whatever you want to call it, when they give you the idea of, okay, I'm going to grant you 3 wishes. Do you know what the wish is going to do when you cast it? Because say you were to cast a wish of, I want to have all this money in the world, and you set whatever dollar amount. It's not telling you where the money is going to be taken from to give to you, because there still is
the monkey paws.
Yeah, there still is a consequence to doing that. Whether you think it's a positive thing for yourself or not doesn't really make a difference. Like the idea of good and bad doesn't really fall anywhere in that. But do all of their decisions also create? I would say that there's also existences where ghosts aren't even a thing. Does that make any sense? Like, I think you need something with a spirit in order for it to have ghosts. And what if I guess it would go into, okay, do we think dinosaurs and animals and all of these other things have spirits? And do you think animal spirits can walk the earth that don't have any human characteristic at all? Because then we're talking about another, because sentience, I think sentience ties into this as well. If humans were never a thing on this planet, which is also possible in infinite realities, I would say it would come down to sentience and if something would have a soul or not. To me, I don't. Otherwise, I couldn't justify eating meat. I don't think everything on the planet is sentient.
Is this why you're not a cannibal?
Is this why I'm not a cannibal?
Yeah, I said, is this why you're not a cannibal?
In the right situation, I would be a cannibal. There's nothing that would count me out. If me and my family were starving and somebody was going to die next to me, would you not do it because of moral things, or how would you balance your morality? Somebody's about to die next to you. You're on a deserted island.
If they're gone, I'm cooking them.
That's what I'm saying. You can't use a moral justification for something when your immediate is usually more concerning to you than the esoteric idea of, am I being moral on a global stance, I guess, because sometimes morality goes out the window when it comes to survival. But I also think it's a justification to kill.
If I'm in a
No, Ace hole. I have to explain something real quick. It's the collapsing of the wave function. The point that I'm trying to state is that a detector has to understand what has occurred in order for the wave function itself to collapse. If the wave function doesn't collapse, everything is occurring at the same time. That's the difference. And whenever it's not being perceived, like if we're not directly interacting with, so to speak, everything's occurring. But if we are hard pressed on ensuring that we know every finite, minute detail within our existence around us, which is also highly implausible, because everything, okay, you take a Yahtzee set, and if you roll the dice and you don't look at the numbers, until you perceive the numbers, you are within 7,776 realities. And this is literally what I'm trying to present. Unless you perceive, or it becomes a way to be perceived by something, by a sentient object. If something sentient observes / detects what is not being measured, it is all answers at the same time. That's how we get to the answer of we're in a multiverse of infinite plausibilities that occur and, quote, splits different realities. It doesn't exactly split. It's that they all exist until it becomes observed.
What up, Tommy Brown? Good to see you. And I think this goes back to the quantum idea. And observed is an interesting answer, but I think it's easier when we're talking to humans to say measured. As soon as you try to measure something, where's it at? once you try to measure it, because that's when these things actually change, and that's what we know on a quantum level. But it also happens on a larger scale as well. As
Correct.
above,
But that's how come it gets observed. But on a quantum ladder, it requires a detector. That's where the double slit experiment comes in.
But the observing is that's what the measurement is. Observing is a measurement.
Correct. I can agree with you there, and that's where it comes down to whether or not we experience 2 lines on the backboard or multiple lines on the backboard.
Now, when you ask that question,
I would say Ace. The variable in there is time, which comes down to another measurement, like we were talking about. As soon as we try to measure it, like, is this going to happen in the future? Is this going to happen, or has this already happened? It's the measurement side that then decide. It's the Schrodinger's box. It's do you know if the cat is alive inside of the box or if it's dead? You don't actually know until you look. That's when you get your answer. So as soon as it's measured, that's when you're able to actually go from there. What are we up to tonight? Randomness. We got into some esoteric ideas, and we're just kind of bouncing around at the moment. But
now,
I
Kirsten,
am going to say something fun.
Jacob
Sorry,
about being a cannibal, and he responded if it was in a certain type of situation. If I was in a Donner situation, I would eat the person that was dying. You got that right.
I'm going to play something for about 3 minutes, and I want you guys to give me your assessment of it when I get back, okay?
All right.
I might get
Moo is my official answer.
It's but I think it's interesting. This will give you guys an idea of what I was talking about tonight. Yeah, Tommy, I got something for you. This will give you a little bit of recap of this is part of my second half stream today that I did. And there's a gentleman that I've encountered that has ran into me a few times. This is the encounter that I had with him today. We're going to be looking for the guy in the red hoodie. He is the guy that I picked out as provocateur, if you will. So,
holy hell! I just found Waldo.
Insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead, fight, and any big, fat love, find common ground. To halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big, fat love, find common ground. To halt the spread of lies, and any America first.
So I want you guys to know this guy in the red hoodie is pushing himself up against this other guy that has a flag because he doesn't agree with him. It's going to escalate from here. We'll keep going.
Yeah, that's why he's throwing himself into it.
I mean, what's the point? If you're driving a 50.
I think this dude's gonna get dropped.
Oh, just wait. I don't drop him.
America first. Non-fatal.
No, he picks him up.
Better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an A. Inside.
I moved a little bit closer because I could tell what he was doing. I wanted to close the distance a little bit, but I'm not encroaching on his space yet. I'm not touching him.
Insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. Love the flow. 69. Now
He went under the guy again, and then the guy moves away, and he's going to walk to my right of where I'm recording right now.
it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an A, big, fat love, find common ground. To hold the spread of lies, and we must do it big, fat love, find common ground. To hold the spread of lies, and A, America first.
He realized the guy was leaning, so he got in closer so that when the guy leaned again, he would be leaning against him. The guy realizes what he's doing, and he moves out of the way. It's about to escalate a little bit.
America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it
The other guy walked away. He realizes I'm behind him and changes his focus.
fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an A. Insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we.
I don't know if you guys saw, my camera went down a little bit because he hooked my cord and he hooked it onto his arm. So play this out a little bit longer.
Must do it. If we don't
Now,
control
wasn't that the same
insiders,
guy that
this
was standing
will be
behind you
over
that
and
one day
over.
holding
Yes,
the
that
sign
was
that said,
Yes, that was the
wasn't
same
that
Yeah,
guy.
that's the same guy that was faking being slow.
Yes, he
Okay.
is a slow people for Trump. He's making fun of mentally disabled people in order to get his political message across. He just hooked my cord. I asked him to get away from me, and we'll see where it goes from here.
By an A, big, fat love.
He did that. I told him to stop touching me, and I think I moved him away from me a little bit. And then he gets right into my face. And when somebody gets in my face, I usually do the same thing. Like if you are within inches of my lips, I'm probably gonna pucker up like I'm gonna give you a kiss.
Common ground to hold the spread of lies, and we must do it big, fat love. Find common ground to hold the spread of lies, and any.
Like that is so close to my face. Like I was holding my temper very well. And
Yeah, you
at the
were.
time I was telling him, hey, stop touching me. Like we're not doing this. You really don't want to do this. And he wasn't necessarily sure yet.
America first. America first. Non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher.
Somebody else brought him over and separated him. He was walking away with my cord again, and you can see my hand. Watch my hand go to his right shoulder because he's taking my cord with him. So I immediately grab him again and tell him to stop doing it.
Very much higher. America first. To lead by an A.
That's my hand right there because he had my cord in his hand. So I grabbed him by his collar and while his his right shoulder, and I moved him out of the way to get him off of my cord that he had just grabbed and was walking away with, because he got so close he didn't realize what he was doing.
Insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders.
But yeah, that was the last time he got close to me like that. He no longer got close to me like that because I established boundaries with him. And I think that's what you have to do at some of these events, because otherwise people are not going to, I don't know, they're not going to take you seriously if you're just like yelling in their face and not doing a damn thing about it. But yeah, this is going to end up being turned into something. I got a bunch of stuff I got to clip out of it. But yeah, that was one of the interesting events from today.
Yeah, I've seen part of it.
Yeah, it was a time.
That's why I said, Jacob, they're going to end up having riot control out there.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody actually wanted to get
The one
in a
guy was
conflict.
sitting there calling the cops a pig.
Oh yeah, one of them was saying he wanted to kill pigs and this and that, and they're literally sitting there and wishing death upon officers and then calling themselves peaceful. It's just like wishing death upon anybody else is not a peaceful venture.
No.
Maybe I'm confused on what peaceful means, but
No. We're definitely
that wasn't
confused, Mr.
peaceful.
Waters, because you go try to explain that to their psyche and they'll rip you apart, bro. No joke. But I know you'll rip right back because you got that quick whip about you, and you like I always tell you, man. That's why I keep you around, because you're definitely not an echo chamber.
Well, that's what was interesting about that, Ace, is so the guy that was carrying the American flag, and then the guy that was pretending to be mentally disabled, both of them are veterans, and both of them served in the military. And I thanked both of them for their service. I shook both of their hands and thanked both of them for their service. That guy that I got in his face and blew him a kiss. Well, he got in my face and then I blew him a kiss. At the end of the day, I shook his hand. I thanked him for his service. I think he was surprised. He thought I was going to like hate him or something like that. I said, no, I've never had the honor to serve in the military. He asked me if I ever served in the military. I said, no. I said I had a child at a young age and got right into the work field. Like I had to make money. I couldn't leave my family early like that. At least I didn't feel like I could. But everybody's situation is different, of course. But it was weird seeing two veterans fight, or want to fight each other.
So I'm an idiot, and I can admit whenever I don't know something. So what was the green, black, and red flag?
I was fixing to ask that too.
That was the one. Oh, so that was the black rabbi that I had talked about, who's pro-Palestine, and he thinks of it as more of an inclusive flag. He thinks of it as, but I think it has something to do with Africa. I could be confused, but it's, according to his words, it's a more inclusive flag than the United States. And if he had the United States flag, he said he would burn it. Which, that's what I ended up actually talking to the guy with the American flag about the previous weekend. Black Hebrew Israelite. No, he wasn't. He wasn't a Black Israelite. I did actually ask him that, or at least he didn't identify as that, or didn't want to tell me he was that, because I don't know. For whatever reason, he didn't want to tell me that. And when I asked, he was super offended about it. But I was talking to the veteran that was carrying around the American flag, and I said, how would you feel if somebody burnt the American flag in front of you? And he gave me the best answer I had ever heard. It was, well, it's not that I had ever heard. I'd heard it before, but he was saying, he goes, I'd really be upset if they burnt the American flag because it's something I fought for. He goes, but if they're doing it as a form of protest, he goes, I couldn't do anything about it. He's like, I'd try to stop them from doing it, but I wouldn't.
I would stomp a mud hole in that.
Okay, I went and found the answer. The answer officially is the Juneteenth flag.
Oh, okay. Juneteenth flag? Gotcha. Shows what I know.
Someone was burning American flag.
Nor do I pretend to know all these things.
I would have a featureless word and say, you know what? You're a dumbass. But
What about all the Somalians and Muslims? Is there a lot there? There wasn't a lot that I noticed. But I didn't go out around and asking anybody their religions. To be fair, I mean, the only person I knew his religion was the rabbi.
No, I got pissed.
I mean, I couldn't beat somebody like it's for me. I don't know if anybody's been following what's going on in Dearborn. There was a Muslim protest in Dearborn recently. And there was a guy that got a Quran and started like slapping it with bacon, and then he wanted to light the Quran on fire. I think he has the right to light the Quran on fire, and I don't think he should be assaulted for doing it. I think it has to do with your ability to protest. I think you're allowed to express yourself if you don't agree with other people's ideas. And I don't think you should be able to cause violence over it if you don't agree with their ideas. But he was a J6er. That guy that was which one? The guy that was trying to do that. That guy was clearly anti-Semitic, and he was talking about Aryan ICE members and stuff like that. And I think he made that was with Nick. Cam ended up going on the guy's bus.
Wait,
after
hold
he
on,
got pepper
hold on.
sprayed.
I thought that was a joke Batman told me. You're telling me that really happened?
The guy trying to burn it was a J6er. Yeah, that guy came off really racist, unless he was like, it makes me wonder if he's FBI or CIA or something. I don't remember how many FBI agents they said were at January 6th, but it was a pretty high percentage. Makes me wonder if he was a provocateur.
Are you telling me somebody cooking bacon on the Quran actually happened?
No, he was just slapping. He was just slapping raw bacon against the Quran. And don't get me wrong, I don't agree with a lot of the things that are in the Quran, but I do think people have their the ability to practice their religion as long as they're not imposing on the rights of others. I do think we have freedom of religion, but you can't cause harm to others because of your beliefs. 170 plus FBI. That's what I thought. It was a pretty high percentage, and they were talking about the people from the Proud Boys.
I want to play the dickhead. What do you define as harm? Physical, emotional, spiritual?
Emotional doesn't really isn't really addressed in the law.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Well, it is here.
Only in civil cases. It's usually between like a girlfriend and a boyfriend, or a husband and a spouse. I think there can be emotional. I think there can be emotional damage in those kind of cases. But when it comes to this person did something I don't like, and I was in my feelings about it, no, I don't think there should be law cast on that.
Hey, does this say anything about it being illegal for somebody to hit somebody with a Bible?
I would assume so. That would be physical violence.
Can that be considered assault with a deadly weapon? Because the Bible's kind of thick, bro.
Yeah, there was a lot of Muslim people that were spitting on people, and I think that that's assault as well.
Bible can be deadly.
You hit them and you go be healed.
Yeah, that's considered a physical. You physically having contact with another individual. Yeah. I have to agree with that.
I never hit them. The Bible hit them.
So regardless, Ace, I think their job is to go to that system and get people elected that fit their ideology. Yes, I don't think, because there is a risk of Muslim communities implementing Sharia law, but it's actually happening right now somewhere. I want to say Plano, Texas. They were talking about it, and it's actually against Texas's constitution. So people are actually speaking out about it now, and I think it's there's a difference between assimilation and having things that would put society back. I think there's a lot of things in the Quran that people like. Muhammad was not a good person. He didn't he consummate his marriage with his whatever wife. At least she was like 9 years old or some shit. He was
all right, Mr. Waters. I'm gonna go find some food and head out, man, and figure out how to fall asleep, bro. You have a good night, man. Trips.
See you, Kurt.
You too as well.
See you later, GP.
Have a good night, Chris. But yeah, I think there's plenty of things, and I think women are considered less than men in the Quran.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot. Corn Pop was a good man. I'm sure that was assault. I don't think of slapping the Quran with bacon as assault, but spitting on somebody, messing with their property or something like that. Somebody else having their own Quran and bringing it. Like it's like the idea of if somebody can buy an Xbox 360 or whatever and go out and smash it in front of people to make them feel bad or whatever new game system. I don't think that I don't think there's an argument for emotional assault on that level, especially if you go out and pay for it or it's given to you or whatever. Once something's your possession, I don't think people can stop you from doing something with it. I think the only kind of like weird thing that kind of like floats on that is money in the United States. I think it's still
you can't burn money.
Yeah, I think it's a crime to burn money, but it might be the only one I know about that I can think of.
No, when I was younger, I was in church, and we were standing up, and I had my Bible. I went and picked up my Bible, went to turn around, and when I did, I smacked the lady that was next to me. Not meaning to. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
It's a whole different term of Bible thumping.
Lady was like, hey, man.
Yeah, that's a good question, Ace. I would say that money is still property of the federal government. I don't think it's actually your property. I think most banknotes and stuff like that are considered I don't know, like a promise, because it used to be backed on the gold standard where it actually was a real thing, and there was more to.
It was a promissory note.
Exactly.
I've got old currency. I've got old currency that it's worthless to try to spend it, but it's actually worth a little bit of money on the auction. But no, it's not. Yeah, it'd be Confederate money. But
you got Confederate gold hiding somewhere, GP?
Yes, I do. I got Confederate money, and I've got old promissory notes.
Wait a minute, you ain't never told me about that.
Those are hidden. Those are actually in the safe.
You never told me about them now.
Those are in the safe.
I got a key.
You touch them, I'm gonna kick your butt because I know what's in there.
He said, "Just invest in Bitcoin." I feel like you're better off catching a new one. You're better off catching a new cryptocurrency before it takes off.
Hell, I've had BTT for 5 years, and I haven't even looked at how much it's worth. So,
what's BTT?
It's like Bitcoin.
BTC is Bitcoin.
BTT is what I've got.
I know, that's why I asked what BTT was, because BTC is actual Bitcoin. I would assume that's an imposter.
I have Tron. I have Bitcoin. I have damn, what's the other one?
What up, Andre Little?
Hey, Andre. I started getting this stuff when it first came out. When I was over there on Dead Live.
I like that you've renamed it now.
Yeah. But yeah, it started over there, and I was like, what the hell is all of this stuff? What's Tron? What's Bitcoin? What's this? What's that? And somebody actually that I knew over there, who's not there anymore, was telling me all about it, and I was like, damn, how do I get in on it? So I was putting $10 into each one, and people were putting Bitcoin and Tron and all that stuff onto mine, and I was like, okay. But I never even looked at what it's worth now that I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah, Ace, I think I actually got her into it, to be fair. I originally got her I think she invested the same amount as I did. She gave it to me as a gift, and I think she did the same thing for herself. And a little bit, I would say 4 or 5 years after is when Bitcoin took a big jump. It was during the Trump administration is when they made a big jump back up. During the Biden administration, it had crashed quite a bit. I think it was down to like 62,000 per Bitcoin per unit, and it ended up going over 100,000.
Something like that. But I haven't even looked at what they are now, what they're worth now. So, but now that I'm not over there, and I don't even look at Bitcoin and all that anymore. Now I'm trying to invest in other avenues. Hell, I still have my IBM stock paper in there in the safe too. Oops. I don't even know how much that's worth.
Let me get a what was that? Herman's Journey. I need some food stamps. Maybe apply for them if you can't get them.
Yeah.
Is it Harmon's Journey? I don't know why I read Herman. Yeah, apply for them if you're not able
go
to
to your
get them.
local social service, fill out a paper, and within a week, either they'll mail you your acceptance or denial.
Sadly, I've never actually had food stamps or anything, to the best of my knowledge.
I've got them.
You've got them? Yeah, I don't have any. I've always wanted it to be one of those resources that if I ever needed it or got laid off work for a period of time, I wanted it to be there. But
yeah.
What up, Michael Moody?
It helps. It really does. I get, a little over $200 a month.
Oh, you're more than welcome to troll.
You okay?
I don't have a problem with people trolling. I'm not a nice person. I'm an evil ne'er-do-well.
Yeah.
So
okay.
let me get a vote in the chat. Put 1 if you guys want the Muppets, and put 2 if you guys want what's the other one? The Shining.
Oh,
the Muppets,
2.
The Muppets or The Shining. 1s and 2s in the chat.
2, guys, 2. The Shining.
You guys get to pick.
I love Stephen King's The Shining. 2.
It's not Stephen King's. It's what's his face?
It's based off of Stephen King's
No, I know.
book.
I'm saying I'm basing it. What you're going to see from me is based on the movie by Kubrick, the Kubrick film.
Oh man, come on.
Sorry, I don't have a visual. I don't have a visual representation of The Shining besides the Kubrick film.
Never watched The Shining, but
And if you guys haven't, make sure to check out the newest episode of It Welcome to Derry is coming out tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. I want to see that.
We got 2s in the chat. Looks like it's going to be 2. We got 3 2s. Unless somebody drops some 1s, we're getting 2s.
Is it the original Muppets, like Kermit, Miss Piggy?
Original Muppets.
Okay.
Like old school Muppets.
Okay, that's when Miss Piggy was really, really violent.
Kermit the Frog here.
Hey, yeah.
It's got Grover in it, Kermit, some other people. Space says Ace. That counts as a 1. All right, so we got. Oh, I don't know. Right now we're leaning towards some red rum.
Oh, red rum, red rum, red rum, red rum. Danny, come play with us. Come play with us, Danny.
That's what it is. All right. Later.
So stay out. You understand? Stay out.